Hello, everyone. We're playing some Nebulous Fleet Command today, so we're going to watch as I try and fail to do accurate missile strikes. I have been playing this game for a while, and I'm still very bad at missiles, so that's going to be the plan for today. Let me just get the desktop audio turned on so we can hear that lovely Nebulous main menu music. I'm just going to be hopping into public lobbies today, maybe hosting my own and playing with friends later. We're going to see who gets online and not. Take a look at the multiplayer scene, so currently no games up. So in this case, I'm just going to host my own lobby. NekoboyBlues. Nebulous. Nonsense. No password, just skirmish mode. I'm going to host a custom map. Had tombstones. Yeah, this is a fun one. So I'm just going to queue up one of my fleets here, which is here's this. Four Seasons, as it's called. Oop. A little bit of lag there. Somebody joins. Anyways, this is a missile strike fleet. So I've got a series of 4 frigates here with a couple banks of missiles that we're going to try and throw at the enemy. These are the special size 3 hybrid missiles, meaning that they have to travel at 200 meters a second until they get into the radar range of the Seekers here, which I believe I have set to... Yep, triggers at 3 kilometers away. This is a different type of Seeker. I'll explain missiles more as we go. Once they're at 3 kilometers, they pop off and then enter second stage, where they go super fast at 569 meters a second. So we're going to have some fun with that. Just going to not change anything there. We're playing ANS versus OSP. The lobby is open if anyone wants to join. So yeah, come on in. Meantime, I'm going to have a little sippy of water. Suppose I can still play around some more with the fleet commander, or fleet editor here, and explain what I'm doing. So I've got an array of missiles across these 3 ships. They're all just mirrors of each other, named after the 4 Seasons, hence the name 4 Seasons. I've not quite spent all of my 3,000 points, but 4 points out of 3,000 unspent I'm okay with. In this case, I've got a couple of missiles here. The type here use ARAD Seekers, which is for active radar. This means that if the enemy has a radar on, then they will seek them out. I've got a backup fixed seeker, so in this case I have a radar seeker that will emit its own signal, so in case the enemy shuts off their radars, I can still detect them. Besides that, I've got another missile here which has a extendable seeker, so this way I'm able to try and get a bigger sweep around the map and locate more enemies that I can then throw missiles at. I've also got some of these really expensive ones, the snowstorms, 51 points compared to the 19 and also 19 points apiece for these. So these ones have the radar seekers as well for finding the enemy. Plus, they've got the extended, so I'm really able to see them. What the main expense comes from is this, a cluster decoy launcher. This thing costs 30 points, which is more than one of these other missiles costs. This is done so that I can confuse enemy point defense, because it'll shed a whole bunch of decoys, which then bedazzles the hell out of them, and hopefully they don't shoot down my missile on approach. It's got a fairly standard high explosive impact warhead, so it's just a lot of boom in a tube. Yeah, got a kinetic penetrator missile type. This is really good if you want to gut something stem to stern, but it takes a lot to make one of these things line up, so I'm just going with the generic high explosives in this mission. I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's never stopped me before, so yeah. Kind of the loadout, as it were. I give him an old... Hello. Gonna reveal my fleet to the team here, so the enemy team can't see what we've got, but we can coordinate some of these things. So you can see we've got a Axford heavy cruiser here with a bunch of guns on it and also some smaller turrets. It's got a nice array of the big 450 turrets and also the smaller 120s. So those are able to better shoot small ships. He's got a couple of these little tiny sort of escorts along with it. They've got a 250 millimeter cannon with some jamming and flak. So nice little escort picket ships to go along with the big Royal Fizz here in Axford. I don't know what Marlowe has, but lobby's filling up pretty good. Yeah. Make myself just a little bigger. Tab out to the right tab. There we are. Bigger Catboy. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too crunchy. I was playing around with the capture size so that I don't come across as a incredibly fuzzy Catboy. I'm fuzzy enough. Look at my lovely ears here. Yeah, fuzzy. Yeah. Bye. So we're just waiting for the lobby to fill up. So if you want to come by and play Nebulous, yeah. Lobby is open. Come on down. No restrictions really, but... We're just gonna wait for the lobby to fill up. Still 2 more slots if anyone wants to hop in. I'm gonna eat a chocolate chip. Actually, I lied. I ate 2 chocolate chips. I had myself a little bowl of chocolate chips. This is my Neko Num-Nums, which are gonna keep me going until I eventually have to take a break and have dinner. I haven't decided what I want for dinner yet, but it's a problem for future me. This is a saying that I have cursed myself with repeatedly. Oh. Medium, pillar-sized boat. Just waiting for one more player, then we're going to get the game on so we can see the various ridiculousness involved. I'm taking another big sip of water now. I love water. Right, we're just waiting for one more person, so if anyone in chat wants to join up, now's your chance. So they've got 1,500 points here, so they've probably not selected a fleet yet. You sometimes see this when somebody wants to command like 5 fleets worth of power, because 3k is the normal standard. Oop, we might have one. Alright, Clap's joined. Let's see. Right. Once we get the team sort of sorted and all that, we should have a match on our hands, I hope. Just waiting for the other side to kind of equalize itself and align to the Outlying Systems Protectorate. The faction that we are playing is the Shelter Alliance, so nice little asymmetrical balance, kind of interesting gameplay-wise. You get some tools that the enemy doesn't have, and you can have to play around it as best you can. So I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah. Just gonna tell them to ready up. In my case, I am still very bad at missiles, but I'm going to be trying to get better by pasting myself against the wall until I manage to make something actually end up working, so. When in doubt, apply yourself. You can hope that everyone here loads the mods and stuff. So, yeah. I'm going to take another big sip of water. Don't know exactly what our team is bringing. Marlos and Freya have not shown their fleets yet, so. Can't wait for them to sort out their differences in lobby here. But in my cardboard command console, I will command the battlefield and throw a whole bunch of missiles at people, I think. Or I will die horribly because I will get counterstruck and not realize what I've done wrong. Probably the latter. Alrighty. Just have to download the mod now, and we should be good. No! No! Chat, I have lost a chocolate chip. I'm very distraught about this. I'm hoping that it's not under any of my feet, so we're going to just go with it. Alright. Welcome to Tombstones. We're going to go for NekoboyBlue's Nebulous nonsense now. It takes a second to load. Where did that chocolate chip go? Want it. It fell on the floor, but I still kind of want it. Well, I guess not really anymore. 5 seconds to pass. I'm worried I'm going to step on it and then end up with chocolate chip all over my foot and have no idea how it got there. I really need to vacuum it out here. Huh. Alright. Well, unfortunately, it appears lost for the ages of time, so we'll have to deal with that later, but putting off things for future me to deal with has never been a problem for me before in the past, right? Anyways. Let's do some missile pathing, shall we? So. So. In this case, you look at the map. Nice little collection of asteroids kind of ringing around this center point here, which has the nice little hat over top of it. I'm going to deploy behind this rock, as it's kind of equidistant from either side, and I want to wrap my missiles around various angles to get the best shots I can. C point and B point are our naturals, so we'll be capping those first and foremost. Then there'll be a fight over the A point, most likely, with flankers trying to get around to the D and E, which is the enemy's natural. Nice little donut here they can deploy into and then send things around, so... yeah. You can see Marlowe saying that A is a absolute mess, and yes, I agree with that. It is. There's a reason why many ships are labeled Sacrificial A-Capper, because sometimes you'll just need to send a Corvette or a shuttle or something else silly. This style of fleet is kind of referred to as Yub-Nub, after there was a player who had the name Yub-Nub, and they basically did only indirect missile strikes, so term kind of stuck in the game. We're going to be doing a bit of the same in this case, just trying to basically send as many missiles to as many annoying places as possible. See now the tactical view, we've got our fleet deployed here in line. You can see a couple of our allies here as well. This was the heavy cruiser we saw in the sort of pre-game lobby. You see it's got the little gun mounts there, the small 120s, and then the big 450s along with the defenders. Got some vertical launch systems, so those are anti-missile missiles most likely, or they're going offensive, in which case that's spicy. Oh, they got a little bullseye down there. The point defense hemispheres are decent, but is a little bit lacking in flak, although it does rely on its escorts for that, so not the worst.
Orders, Commander.
See as well, we've got another Axford here, kitted out with the old big guns. This one has missiles on these side slots and a bit of flak about. So, you can see it's also got a... oh, that's an interesting destroyer. Normally a destroyer has a big spinal gun. This one has a point defense turret on it. See, it's got cannons on the top and bottom for 250 millimeters. Also, it's got a blanket jammer on the front. Nice little escort here. So, see, we got these two moving towards the C point. I think they had a... yeah, they had a offside scout ship here. So this is another destroyer, although this one has a radar module called a Pinard on the front. It detects enemy radars. So we're just going to be looking around here, as it were, as I'm going to move my fleet a little bit closer, setting them to loose formation here, as I need to actually realign them all, since they're being silly.
Forming up, Commander.
I'm the only one allowed to be silly, not my ships.
Falling into formation.
I'll just set that about like that. That looks good. I think I actually need to put that further over. I don't want my ships too close together because it increases their radar signature, and that's bad.
Moving out, Commander.
Anyways, they're getting Zone Dagger up here and Zone Eclipse down there.
What can we do for
I'm
you,
going to
Commander?
fire a test salvo at them. Just a little missile here. What? Boop. Boop. That looks good.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Just sending one missile
Fire
off as a little test. This is not going to tell them too much
What
about
can we
my
do
fleet,
for you,
although it does
Commander?
mean that they'll probably lose one of their cap ships here.
Holding our position.
Gonna
We're on our way.
saddle up nice and close to this rock here to provide cover. Rock is the best point defense after all. We see we've got a couple of different ships here. I think these are named after presidents, if I correct. Nixon, just Rhodes. I think these are U.S. presidents. I could be wrong in that, though. My U.S. lore isn't exactly up to date. You can see they've got some cantered launchers here, similar to mine, although they're slightly angled. They've got a nice little blob of frigates here, most likely carrying torpedoes. So, very nasty at close quarters.
We have secured
Receiving.
zone Comet.
There's a chance
We're ready
that
when you
one of
are,
them is
Commander.
sent towards the A point, so we'll have to deal with that. Alright. I'm going to fire another test missile off here. Bloop, 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 blop, bloop, blop, bloop, blop. Gonna path about like so, doing a little bit of wiggling here to keep myself agile.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Just gonna test
Firing
the
missile.
waters, as it were. See, they are firing point defense here, as I've gotten a lock now with my missile. Oop. It's gotten a track somewhere in there. Just can't quite see it yet. So we see them popping a flare, trying to evade. Oop, that's a Aurora. Okay. A Ocello on E. That means that they have a ANS ship. Well, an old ANS ship called an Ocello. Has Auroras. So
We're ready when you are, Commander.
my plan is to, once I've properly identified a enemy fleet, then I'm going to bombard it with a whole bunch of missiles. I don't know if these are decoys or real ships yet, so we're just going to have to test. Alright. Let's see. That missile is now sent off to do his little scouting duties. Let's see. Ooh, okay.
Receiving.
That is another Ocello. 9593 Ocello on D. So this appears to be one of the starter ship fleets. I recognize the names, the Abject Terror, the Rose Soul, and this should be a tug of some sort. So, I believe that's a radar tug. Yep, you can see Sarissa fire coming in here, and a anti-missile as well, colliding. So they're going to try and shoot down my missile, which unfortunately they do, but... Oh, okay, we can see there's actual line ships here.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
Alright. This is going to be annoying, because those are some actually half-decent ships. I'm going to have to just deal with that. Let's see. Okay. They have some size 3 hybrids, so maybe they're not torpedoes after all.
Aye, aye, Commander. Moving
Just going to take a look. So they've got a big old missile strike going on that. I think that hitting that fleet would be very good for me, though I might have to use the really good missiles to do it, so... Still, if we're in range, when in Rome, why not? Let's see, we'll load up these snowstorms here. I think that I can get a missile strike through. I did not remember to read up on how to do mixed missile volleys, which would normally be very good here, because then I could throw some of my decoy launchers out and probably deal with their, what they call point defense auroras. But as it currently stands, I think I'm just going to go for the mass volume of spam. So we're just going to fire all of these missiles and hope for the best, since this is probably a good target. I say probably. This is... I accidentally clicked a friendly fleet there. This is definitely a target, so we can see it having a bunch of stuff up top. There's also a bunch of liners over here. So with any luck, I'm going to get a really good missile strike there.
What can we do for
We're going to see how well it goes. The missiles jettisoning now and moving along the pathing that I've given them. We've got a nice little 8 missile strike going out.
What can we do for you, Commander?
These are the good missiles anyway, so they should be on target. And then I will basically just whack into the Ocello and make a whole bunch of misery for that player. So I am a little worried about the other side. I have a lot of missiles still. I've got 56 that I can send of this type, and then a bunch of the other cheaper kind. So you can see them trying to shoot down my missiles here as they are on approach, although we have a bit of leeway here. I did a bit of wiggly pathing, so their attempted long-range shots are not working as well. I think that I can get a good hit on those once these get through. If these get through. We're going to see. Watch as the decoys are shed here, providing a bunch of annoying coverage, and we're just going to watch as this thing gets hit. Wham, 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 wham. And we're going to follow up. Wham, wham, wham. So, this thing now has a bunch of misery in it. Yes. Excellent. So now I'm going to presume that a bunch of them are wounded, so we're just going to full send a volley afterwards. And we're just going to go, let's see, that's about 3 kilometers there, so.
Copy
Send
that.
more.
Deploying missile.
So when the enemy is down, kick them.
We're on our way.
See, there's a bunch of chaff here trying to delay enemy missiles. See, there's a nasty little size 2 volley coming in here. But the point defense is pretty good here. I think that, yep, only one of those hit, so pretty good survival rate from that. So it remains to be seen if the second volley that's probably going to come after will hit them or not. So, in this case, me and this other player are doing a bit of the same thing, so they actually are a size 3 hybrid fleet as well. I was expecting only one of us to bring that, but oh well, double up, why not? Got another nasty missile strike coming out here. See, they've got their dirty tricks missiles. I'm assuming these have decoys given the name. You can see them just flying along here. So, unfortunately, the enemy does have some point defense still. You can see this Ocello here, the slave one, named after the Star Wars ship, no doubt. It's going to provide a bit of coverage, but I also just have a fun little volley coming in now. Watch as it locks on and attempts to do its best to smack into something. Yep. In this case, the first one's getting denied, but they're getting some hits after all. Fortunately, that Ocello is not as disabled as I would like it to be, so my missile volley might come up short. See a bunch of anti-missile missiles coming after ours here. So that is a I'm not sure if that's an overcommitment or not, given the nature of the way these missile plays kind of work. See them coming after their stuff here. Wham, wham. Getting some good hits here. Bam, bam, bam. Bam. So, unfortunately, I don't have the stuff to really knock out an Ocello. They're very tough to kill, but I am putting good damage on it either way. So,
We're on our way.
with that presumption, I've definitely dealt a bunch to it, and I also hit this ship here, so
Standing
let's
by.
see. How many more missiles do we have? We can still do that a couple more times. Trying to path our missiles around here to hit our targets, ideally. I've got anti-radar missiles, so with any luck, if the enemy has a radar panel still left alive, we'll go after them. Just going to move my fleet up to get me a more direct line of fire. We can see the bulk freighter here taking a nasty salvo. You can't kill these with missiles because they're just a little too tough for that, but you can definitely sack them pretty hard so that they aren't able to do anything. That had a mine layer on it, so I'll have to be careful for mines in the late game. See the Rose Soul here, another Ocello. Nastiness. I have to engage that in some way, shape, or form. I could just try and push through it, which I am thinking I might. Gonna try and do a bit of an ego check here, see if they know how to properly point defense or not. Gonna go ahead and just line up a bunch of shots here. Let me see. I want to basically fire... Well, they are advancing, so I think that this will work. Just fire a volley of 4. There we go. That should be 16 missiles out in a second. Again, I have only got so many left, but they're threatening us when we run out of missiles, so that's going to be fun. The key is to just not have anything that can kill you left after you've fired all your missiles. See our allies here having a little bit of trouble going up against an enemy Ocello. So I'm going to attempt a strike on that, I think. I'm just going to mark the location like so. 3-dimensional space navigation can be a little bit tricky. Just dropping down.
Understood. We're en route.
So ideally, oh wow, that thing has a
What
lot
can
of
we do
missiles
for you,
coming out of it.
Commander?
I'm gonna mark that as a priority target. You can see our friendly fleet here. A lot of missiles coming out, but most of them are just getting chewed up by the flak, so
What can we do
good.
for you, Commander?
see here. So you can see the enemy fleet has chosen to advance, and I should stage just before I hit that 3-kilometer range, which means that my missiles will be engaged into their fast-moving mode when I get to their big ship that has point defense. You can see its guns trying to shoot down some of these incoming ones here. This thing is in for a bad day. Kabloom. So that is a Ocello that is not loving life. Oop, we got one actually going further past it, so it's interesting. I didn't completely disable this thing. Oh, actually, I did knock out the power, so that is worth noting. We are going to attempt another missile volley strike then, like so. So in this case, we are going to try and path past it, going after its supporting elements. Let's see, that is about 3 kilometers away, which is right where I want to be on this, so we're going to just fire, you know what? Let's just fire 8 missiles. That should be enough to take out that ship. We're trying to zoom past the ship that is currently disabled, because we saw its lights had gone out. The lights on the bridge are an indicator of a ship's power. If we look here, we can see I have blue lights, which means that I still have power. On the other hand, the enemy had orange lights, which meant that they are unpowered for the moment, so... Let's see, anything over here that we want to whack into? Not really. See the enemy fleet still down here causing issues, so I don't have anything that I can really do against them. Just gonna trust in my ally here because they have less missiles than I do. They're just gonna move up and start providing sort of an escorting power. I don't know if the Rose Soul here, which is not under command currently, is going to be enabled in time to shoot down any of these missiles. I'm hoping that they will just zoom right by it and get onto the 2 ships left, the Abject Terror and the Always Alert. Those tugs being issues. I'm going to fire another volley like so. I think that should do.
Copy that. Deploying missile.
With any luck, they will be left there, and then I'll get some good hits on target. We're going to see if our missiles will connect or not here. See them zooming right by the Rose Soul. Some point defense turrets from its allies still active. In this case, a couple of them zoomed off at it, but this is mostly fine. See we got some very good hits center of mass. The ship rolling as it takes those hits. Wham, wham, wham. And then lastly, we'll get one more size 3, doing this little spiral pathing as it collides here. So, sadly, they are not out of the fight, but we can still get some more missile hits on them, I think. Take the leisurely route here. It might be a little too leisurely, actually. You do still need to actually hit them. Let's see. I think they were about there-ish. That looks about right. So we're going to just fire another volley, like so.
Copy that. Deploying missile.
See, there's a bulk freighter over here, mostly disabled, although there's still a lot of enemy ships here. Let's see, I've got more missiles coming in now. These will hopefully hit one of these targets. I don't know if these will get through the point defense or not, but I'm still going to try. Missile play is a little bit interesting in the regards that you're not always certain if you can make your strike or not. Sometimes you just have to say, screw it, and throw some rockets at somebody. Although, I guess technically these are missiles, not rockets. In this case, we've locked onto an enemy tugboat, which will shoot down one of them, but it's going to eat a missile strike again and again and again. And that is a killed target. Excellent. This is why we shoot multiple times. We can see its space oil has come out, meaning that the ship is in fact dead. So, I believe that I need to strike on those, although I don't have the range. So we'll have to move over here and be clever.
We're en route.
Just path smartly.
Understood. We're en route.
In this case, again, we're watching as the Rose Soul here is still not under command, which means I'm pretty sure I've knocked it out of the fight, but it's not completely dead either. So we'll have to have our friendly fleets shoot that thing a little more, keep it dead. You can see its power has come back online, given the status of the lights. However, none of its point defense is active, so that means that it's mostly inert. Watch as our missile strikes come in here on the Abject Terror. Bunch of good hits center of mass, so the bulk freighters are a little hard to knock out. That last one managed to hit the reactors in the back here, so this thing is now silenced for the moment. You can see its emergency lights coming on there. It might have oiled, I can't tell. I don't think it has.
What can we do for you, Commander? We're ready when you are,
right.
Command. Awaiting
Let's
orders,
see.
Commander.
So I'm not too worried about getting shot, so I'm going to move up here. Ooh. Well, that's that. The Abject Terror, I believe, has just gone critical, and that is a blooming reactor. So, lovely. Need to hit those bulk freighters, but I don't quite have the range, so we're just going to move over top of the rock here and then go for a direct missile strike, or as direct as we can, really. Set our pathing appropriately. That looks good there. Okay. I really wish I remembered how to fire multiple missile types. But I think this is it. I'm going to fire a couple of these and a couple of these. I'm going to begin targeting, like so. I think that just sending the last of my volleys after these guys is the play to make. Assuming I have the range for it, which I would appear to.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Just going to order a full send here and hope for the best.
Holding position, Commander.
Programming all of the various missiles I can. Should be good in a
Awaiting
second.
orders, Commander.
Let's just see how many missiles we send out.
Receiving.
I've not actually tried custom salvos like this before,
Standing
so
by.
Missile reserve low.
we're just going to hope for the best. In this case, I have 2 missiles left in the fleet. So we're just going to have to rely on those to whack any little shuttle that decides it wants to scuttle around the backside. This is the last super volley I've got, although most of the enemy ships are disabled, so this should be a knockout blow. I might have mispositioned here. We're going to look
Awaiting
just
orders,
here
Commander.
and say... Yep. So they're about 2 kilometers away, so... probably going to get a bunch of these killed by point defense, but there's also a lot of missile here, so we're going to go with the old saying of quantity is a quality of its own. Gonna watch as this last strike comes towards, hopefully, this bulk freighter. It might hit the tug, which is okay with me, too. Gonna go after whatever has active radars, and also just whatever is alive and moving, because we have a wake validator, which will check if the enemy's engines are hot or not. The old missile strike coming in here now. With any luck, it will activate just about now. Oh, unfortunately, we are in point defense range, which is not ideal, but you can see a bunch of our missiles now zooming off at various directions. Good old strikes there. We can see the auroras coming off the ship. They're still, unfortunately, active, but we're dealing very good damage. 3879. Missiles delivered. Yeah. So I'm going to just hold on to my last two missiles because that's all I really have left in this fleet. There's still plenty of enemy ship around, although I have hopefully dealt enough damage that the enemy fleets will lose this. It's a matter of capping 1,000 points, though. In this case, we are ahead, 490 to 392. I believe it's every 10 seconds these tick and give us 2 points per point. So, as we see, there's a tug coming our way. So we're just going to say nope to that and order the missile to fire. Let's see. Messing up my pathing tool here. Old sphere pathing tools. Yay. And fire.
Aye, aye, Commander. Firing
That
missile.
should hit. We're gonna just order this, like so. I'm going to assume that that thing has a point defense turret on it, so just issue the order here to direct fire instead.
Waiting for your orders, Commander.
I'm just trying to zoom towards us, so this should give us a kill with any luck. Their Grazer laser turret only is able to shoot down one missile before it has to recharge, so by sending two, I will hopefully get through it.
Missiles reserves.
So it's a bit of a coin flip, so we're going to find out. And I am just going to go now try and run and hide and hold this point as best I can. See, missiles coming online here. A very short launch time, so should hopefully angle towards them now. There we are. You can see them locking on and zoom. Boop, boop. 2 good hits. So that is a dead ship. Excellent. 1-2 punch.
What can we do for you, Commander?
With that said, there's not really much left for me to do besides kind of split my fleet off. So I'm going to leave the winter on this point here,
Aye, aye.
and we'll go from there. Oh, we can see one of them is just cooked off back there. I don't know which one that was.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
See, they've got a bunch of size 2 missiles down below. Our team is commenting about how much they love this game.
Standing by.
Not sure if that's said in jest or seriousness, but either way, we're just going to leave one of our ships here. So as long as we have a ship on the point, we can contest it, although we don't actually have any weapons. So if something comes along with a gun, we are in for a bit of trouble. So I'm able to provide just a bit of distraction here. This Ocello has its nose towards the enemy. You can see the sort of line that you can draw just by the impacts. Bam, 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 bam. Ship's outline vaguely shown there. So it's trading fire with one of our Axford heavy cruisers, a relatively even fight. Actually might be slightly outmatched. The ship here I don't think has as many guns as the Royal Fizzy does, so we'll see who ends up winning that or not. I'm just going to move my fleet forwards because I don't really have anything else for them to do. A couple of the ships here. Yep, the Rose Soul, the ship I was not able to kill, retreating at 37%. So the percentage is sort of a rough estimation of their health. We don't have perfect intel, but it gives you a general sense of just how beat up or destroyed something is. And watch as there's a bunch of size 2 missiles coming in here. Dunderheads, as they are currently called. You can name your missiles custom stuff. In my case, I had a series named Rain, Hail, and Snow. Watch as the point defense turrets here say no to that incoming missile strike. Never skip your point defense unless you absolutely know what you are doing. PD tax evasion is something that missile fleets like this will punish you for. So, it's gonna move you into a way that's smart, like this. So in this case, we can see this ship is launching life pods, meaning it is in fact dead and is marked as such. So,
We're ready when you
life
are,
pods launch
Commander.
30 seconds after a ship has died. Watch as a couple of the enemy fleet here is still kind of active. This one is not under command, apparently, but as we can currently see, it is adjusting its thrusters and doing commandy stuff, so that's clearly false intel. Your intel, again, is not perfect, so we have to make sure that we get things. And the fact that it is firing its guns means it is definitely not dead. So. Either way, you can see a bunch of the enemy fleet here has been heavily beat up by our stuff. You can see the little 120mm guns here. Now, 120mm is pretty big in terms of like general scaling. Like if I got hit by a 120mm shell, I would be turned into a Catboy paste. However, in this game, 120 is actually quite small. So, as you can see, the big 450 cannons here still glowing hot from their firing earlier. Watch as it's peppered by the little 120 shells. They don't really do much since the Ocello is decently armored and is largely shrugging off the shells. I believe that the 120mm AP shell has 45 centimeters of armor pen, and the Acela has 30 centimeters of armor. So, given it's a flat surface, you're able to get through, although the AP shell does not really have much high explosive. So, in terms of dealing damage, it's not the greatest.
Waiting orders.
I'm going to order another one of my ships to go off into the back here, just to hold on to that point. Same goes for you. Because all I can really do is squat on points now. I am completely out of missiles. So, that said, I think I have done my job. So, I'm going to feel relatively satisfied, although I would love to do something about these ships over here.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
We are securing Zone Eclipse.
Watch as the Acela is just getting itself peppered here. We're getting the Eclipse point, which is down here now, since the defending Acela was neutralized. Although, I don't know if it's going to go critical or not. It's already launched its life pods and it's still drifting, although I don't hear any alarms. Sometimes you're able to hear the enemy alarms.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
Watch as, kind of death by paper cuts right now. They're just slowly bleeding out here as we gain more and more point advantage. Doing what we can here. See, it's a nice combo fleet. I didn't expect there to be another missile fleet like this. This ship has actually got its drives disabled. You can tell by its engines being out. But I expect it to be the only missile fleet, but given that we managed to get away with running 2 missile fleets, I'm okay with it. Just watching as the other missile fleet has its backup guns clean up stuff. They are much less dedicated, because in this case they've got only 12 missile tubes compared to my fleet's 20 per ship. However, they do have backup firearms in case they needed to, do this at the late game. Let's see. Watch as... taking a look at these. I have kind of wondered about running a little escort picket ship like this with the 120mm guns and other goodies you can fit onto the frigate. It's a very versatile hull, and I like it a lot. That said, I am also a big sucker for the Axford. It is a very fun ship since you just get big guns, point your nose towards the enemy, and try and go from there. And on the big sip of water, hang on. I'm gonna say GG, as I believe that is now the game, since they are largely decided and most of their ships are in retreat, so. Or Tug Swarm. Tug Swarm can stop hybrids as well. Watching this thing get turned into Swiss cheese here. I feel very nasally and kind of congested all of a sudden. I don't know why. So if I turn it into sniffly, then that's the problem. Not really too much left here. We're just waiting for the last of them to tap out, but this one should go eventually. We don't actually have the damage to break all of its components, since there's a damage reduction applied to this hull by 40%. Means that our guns here just aren't quite dealing enough to actually break open the critical components and knock the ship properly out of the fight. That said, we can still keep it effectively killed, all of its components looking red. By red, I mean all of the essentials here on the damage control board will be redded out and ineffective. So, and watch as the friendly fleet here kind of caps out. Its last shots going towards the Rose Soul. The 450mm guns, they deal enough damage that we can actually get some effects done. Oh, that's interesting. I appear to have been hit by something. I don't know what hit me. Huh. So that ship is evacuated. We'll mark that as killed. It's kind of keeping things going while we finish the game off here. They're talking about the different missile seeker heads. In this case, I was using a bunch of adaptive radar receivers. Or not adaptive radar receivers, active radar. Adaptive radar receivers are a different module that I'm getting mixed up in my terminology on.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
Wondering. What fleet is Marlowe? Marlowe's... okay, those. Gotcha.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
We are securing Zone Dagger.
Chaff. Plus radar. Cycle to defeat ARAD Act. Chaff. A very cheap... and I've been quite literally cheap. It is a single point to throw a whole bunch of aluminum strips out of one of your launch tubes, and you can then defeat a whole bunch of missiles because they happen to go after the very big chaff cloud rather than your actual ships. The chaff is more reflective, so the radar picks up on it harder, and it says, well, of these two, I'm going to go after the big one. Not always, though. Sometimes it decides, this one looks good. So, still just waiting for the Rose Soul to get knocked out here. I'm
What
still
can
on
we do
radar
for you,
from
Commander?
something, which is confusing to me because I don't actually see anything. I just
Affirmative.
burn through real quick. Oop, there it is. There's lifeboats up
We're
here.
ready when you are, Commander.
And there's this ship, which is actually
ready
outside
when
of
you
my
are,
radar
Commander.
range, but it's in range of my allies. You can tell by the little green dotted line projected around here, representing your relative sort of spheres of sight. There's kind of fog of war in the game. Waiting for the last of these things to go away. See, this one got pretty cooked. That's not the paint. That is the complete lack of paint. This thing got completely pasted in an explosion, which means it's completely charbroiled. So that's why it looks like it is well done.
Standing by.
Gonna mark that ship as killed since it's launching life pods. Then the always alert should go down in a second here. We're about to cap out the map. There's this bulk freighter, which is still technically active. I wonder how
Standing
high this
by.
map is. Oh, okay, so it's right at the
Aye,
flight ceiling.
Commander.
There we go.
Moving out.
Gonna
Standing by.
order them to stop. That's a GG, so nicely done. I actually managed to pass Mythals. Yay! Speaking, on the other hand, is something I struggle with. Alright, so we'll take a look at the post game. We can see Freya here. A little bit of damage done with the Axford. Their main job was to hold the front line, which they did. You can see the friendly fleet here. They got a good couple of strikes across their ships. You can see they have 5 frigates compared to mine, which are these 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in my case, I dealt quite a sizable amount of damage, actually. I'm just going to quickly screenshot that so I can remember how well this thing performed. And yeah, grab this real quick. Bloop. All right. And with that, we're going to go on to our next game in a moment. That said, I need to run ads, so we will be back after these messages. I will see you all in 3 minutes. Yeah. Alright, thank you for waiting, chat. Twitch makes me run ads on the hour, so we're gonna just bring the game audio back online, get that nice menu music. Looking at another ship to run this time. Thinking about a container liner, which is the OSP equivalent of the kind of fleet I played. This is a converted container ship, which we're gonna take a look at here. You can see I've got 2 banks of containers on it. In this case, I've got them filled up with a whole bunch of missiles. The OSP's gimmick is that they are a, well, kind of mixture of merchant vessels. In this case, they've got a whole bunch of retrofitted containers, which happen to be filled with explosives. Because you can do that. I don't know who came up with the idea of launching a sea can at somebody, but I think that they are a mad genius, and I respect it. So we're going to go ahead and just go with it. I'm just going to shuffle around where I've got the boxes on this a little bit. Just add the decoy clippers that I have here. Then I think on this one, we'll reduce these, and then go with some more of the regular boxes I had. I think that, there we are, perfect. So, this ship is able to fire up to 10 missiles at once with its extra programming channels. Handily, I've got +9. It starts with 1 by default, but I've got room for a bunch of programming bus arrays, each of these increasing my channels. So, actually, it might have, I think it has default 3, yes, that's why. So, this one is able to fire a good chunk of missiles. This is a bit more of a quality volley. So the other quirk of the shipping container missiles is that while they are very slow, traveling only 168 meters a second, no second stage in these ones, they are half price. Because the idea is that the shipping container is much easier to manufacture and procure than the other sort of more complicated missiles. So this is the OSP's answer to some of the other problems. In this case, I've named it NekoboyBlue. I like to think I'm funny. So we're going to go ahead and load up another game. I'm going to see 3v4. That's a lobby that'll fill up eventually. I'm going to call this one again NekoboyBlue's Nebulous Nonsense. So open lobby if anyone wants to join. Host this. We're going to choose another map. I think that in this case, I want to go to Arroyo. It's a nice little map here. Much brighter than the last one, kind of more desert climate. So in this case, I'm going to join the second team. I could add CPUs if I want, but I think there's enough players around right now that we shouldn't have any problems with that. Gonna load up my missile strike fleet, and we're just gonna wait for the game to fill up. Yeah. Big sip of water. In hindsight, I should have opened this lobby before going on ad break. That way it could fill up in time for everyone to get back. But we're just going to hang out here. Anyways, I'll show you a little bit more of the idea behind the fleet. So, like we saw in the last game, I've got a couple of missiles which have decoy launchers. In this case, I've got cluster decoys with an electro-optical seeker head. This is a very good, although expensive seeker head. The only thing it doesn't do is measure velocity, meaning that if a ship is moving very fast, sometimes it does happen to miss. In this case, we're relying on that half-price feature of the container to make our cluster decoy launcher go from 30 points to 15 points. So for 23 points, we can shed a whole lot of glitter at the enemy. Horrible thing, really. And then we just kind of have a cruise guidance so we can path around rocks and hit them. This is a very common missile to see a lot of the time. Oh, hey, Ree, how you doing? Welcome. See if I can't give you a shout-out here. V247, so, see if that works. There we are. Shout-out. Go follow Ree, they're cool. We are playing some Nebulous Fleet Command. I was just looking at my fleet currently. I've got a shipping container ship here full of a whole bunch of missiles. They've converted these sea cans into a bunch of artillery, essentially, so indirect fire support. Just kind of looking at the ship right now. We've got a lobby open. If any of you play Nebulous, come on by. I've just got a game up right now. NekoboyBlue's Nebulous Nonsense. Arroyo is the place to be. Should probably add that as a sticky message, but I can do that later. Anyways, Raiders, how y'all doing? I hope you had a good stream. Ree, what were you playing? I'm gonna take a big sippy. Hang on. Big sippy. Oh, you played Stardew Valley. Nice. I have a friend who... Actually, I've got a couple friends who are big into Stardew Valley. I never really was interested that much in the game myself. It's a little too... I don't know. I don't want to say it's like too cozy or too casual, but I just know that it's not exactly the type of game that I would play. So, still, sound like you were having fun, and I've heard very good things about Stardew. Very big game? A little bit, until you're trying to micromanage everything on a farm, and you need to desperately go through the mines, and you're panicking because everything is horribly going wrong, and all the other silliness. Chat looks a little bit compressed there on the side. I'm going to see if I can't adjust the size of you, chat. A little squished behind my head here. Where's chat? Alright, we're going to shrink your box a little bit like that. Yeah. Should still kind of be visible, but... yeah, stay put. Go. Alright. Well, chat, you're just going to have to be there for now, so... anyways, we're just waiting for the lobby to fill up. There was another lobby, which actually I'm going to go take a look at. Because sometimes Neb lobbies can take a little bit to load. Just going to see what there is. 3v4. I'm just going to take a look at this here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to ask here. Mind if I spectate / commentate? Just going to ask them here. Always good to ask before you do live casting. Some people get a little bit camera shy and all that. We've got, apparently they call it a 3v4, but in this case it's a 4v4, so we'll see. I'm trying to swap around a bunch of people. I think the idea was that a bunch of the newer players would be paired up as a team of 4 against a team of 3, giving them a 3,000 point advantage. Just going to see how this game plays out. I'm going to do a bit of shoutcasting, or as best I can. Oh, hi, Lizak. Nice to see you. Just playing some Nebulous Fleet Command here, or in this case, Nebulous Lobby Command, as we just wait for everyone to get up. Ah, oh no! Lost another chocolate chip! No! No! That's two I've lost tonight, chat. I'm going to hope that I don't step on it with my socks, because getting chocolate chip in your sock is not a good experience. You keep getting gifted random subs? Oh no, truly a first world problem. Oh, truly, how will you deal with it? Being gifted free subscriptions. Alright. Now, I am not the best shoutcaster, chat, but we're going to do our best to showcase what this game has got going for it. So, once we finish the nameplates, we'll see the deploy screen. In this case, I'm going to be a third-party spectator, so it's my job to not give away any information to any of the people in the game, but I will be calling things out so you all can enjoy this with me. Means I'm definitely going to need more water after this. Stay hydrated, folks. Alright, so... I got my partner stuff. Yeah, I hit partner, or no, it's not partner. Partner's a really far milestone. I hit affiliate a little while ago, and I managed to get some things. So I've got channel points now that you can all choose to use in certain ways. My plugins are annoyingly not working. I've been fighting with them for a little while. But anyways, back to the game at hand here. Enough about me. Let's look at the game. So we're seeing the OSP dropping in on the left side here. They're going for the B and E points as their natural. Most likely going to send a shuttle down to the A point here, the low point on Pillars. Kind of the hot zone. Pillars is the Dust 2 equivalent of Nebulous Fleet Command. We're seeing the ANS side coming in here, going for that C point and D point. They're naturals. They are probably going to have to counterfire onto the A point to deny that cap. We'll likely see a sort of mixed collection of fleets coming in here. Since I didn't actually get a chance to see what was in the pregame lobby, we're going to have to do a quick cycle through of the teams. We can see that it is, in fact, a 3v1. Team 2 is the OSP having a... actually, I believe they're OSP. I should have double-checked that in the lobby. Anyways... it is a 3 versus 4, so we have 9,000 points versus 12,000. The idea is that the Team 1 was given a bit of a point handicap and whatnot, or a point sandbagging, so that Team 2 has the handicap applied. We're watching a frigate coming in here with a bunch of missiles on the top and bottom slots. We'll see what else this thing is packing. So anyways, we can see that there is ANS on Team 1 and OSP on Team 2. We're seeing here first from Hopeful Monster, a fleet of 3 light cruisers coming in here. You can see those nice 250mm guns on them. I have a couple opinions about the light cruiser. It's one of the ships that I feel is not bad, but just in the state of the game kind of struggles in the current existence, although it's getting a little bit of love in some upcoming patches with the way the game is changing. Test server has been quite fun for stuff. So we're seeing a fleet of 3 of these carrying their 250 guns looking to try and punch down against the enemy fleet. We're seeing the mighty battleship here, the Solomon class. Nice little midshipman sticker on there. The bad score here with its big old 450mm guns. Reminds you of Legend of the Galactic Hero with how the fights are scaled? Yeah, it's a little bit of that. I also get very big homeworld vibes from it, or if you are a enthusiast, Free Space. If anyone knows what Free Space is, and I'm not talking about the file formatting thing, Free Space is a lot of fun, and I should definitely stream it. Anyways, back to the game at hand, we see that we are getting the bad score here, escorted by a little Ewar frigate. It's got 2 illuminators to try and illuminate the enemy and get better radar returns, along with 2 blanket jammers to provide electronic warfare coverage. Backing it up, we see a flak frigate here, 4 Stonewall flak turrets providing very good point defense. Any big swarms of missiles are going to get shot down by that thing. And then lastly, we have Strumble Shrimp coming in here with a mixture of frigates. In this case, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 frigates. The offside ones having missile launchers and a Pinard radar module. This allows them to see the enemy fleet when they are emitting radar signatures. So this one should be getting really good scouting info on this side, seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks. Then we'll look on the other side, the spyglass here as well, as this called, Spy 1, Spy 2. This is a spyglass radar, giving it 11 kilometers of scouting range. Unfortunately, I cannot click it and see that 11 kilometers, but just take my word for it. You're seeing it's got some missiles launching now, so a little bit of hybrid role here. Why have your scouts just be scouts when they can also provide nice missile support? Going over to the OSP side, we'll cover this real quick. We're seeing a couple of sprinters just kind of gumming around the map here. All right. A couple more missiles across them, so these are just kind of there to fill out the rest of the fleet here. We got our light cruisers for some frontline punch, and then the battleship to really kind of anchor a point. On the other side, we are seeing the Mailman, a container liner here launching those shipping containers. Very powerful tool here, a decoy. So when you can fool the enemy into thinking that there is more ships than there is, do so. Decoys are very powerful, and I strongly encourage more people to use them because you can mess up people. Although unfortunately in this case we have 2 decoys basically next to each other, which kind of gives away that these ships aren't real. If ships were this close, they would be bumping into each other a lot. Seeing they also have a little tug here, which has an early warning radar, but unfortunately it got booped by one of these ships here. It detected that radar and then proceeded to fire missiles on it. We've got a pair of liners as well, these good old bulk freighters with the Bloodhound radar and the 450mm casemate guns, giving it a nasty, nasty broadside. You can also see they have missile launchers on the back if they want to give a little bit of missiling love. You can see Marlowe here coming in with an array of monitors. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 missile slots on this one, so that's a nasty surprise to anyone involved. And they've got a little 250mm gun as backup. The idea of this fleet is to throw 64 size 2 missiles at something, and they've got a little ACAP shuttle going off here. You can see it's got a illuminator, which is promptly being sacrificed. So the A point will fall eventually to the ANS side, who are currently getting 1, 2, 3 points, as the OSP have not really moved on to the points. I think a little bit of miscommunication here about who is going to cap what, since all that's currently here is the container liner guarding the B side. Amazon package, yep. It's literally impossible to make a shipping container joke without calling one of these things the Amazon delivery service or same-day delivery or Boxing Day or something else like that. It's just the fate of the game. Lastly, on our fleet, we're seeing here a flipper. So in this case, it has a 450mm side on both sides. Normally, you will just see one side and they keep that facing towards the enemy. The benefit of being a space game is that this ship can just flip around like so. It just rolls 180 degrees, firing and reloading the guns, which is very handy. So you can get your kind of classical sort of space galleon look to this thing. They're a lot of fun to play. And we're also going to see it's got a couple escorts with these containers. I don't know what's in them, but most likely something good, along with a plasma turret here to strip off the enemy's armor. That'll be very effective against the battleship, which relies a lot on its heavy armor. So those are the fleets. Let's take a look at the tactical view. So we're seeing the A point here has now fallen. The Bringer of Grummy here needing to get out of here. Although we can see from the damage control board, its main engine is damaged, meaning its thrust power is reduced to 66%. So it's going to take a little bit to get out of there, but there's nothing currently threatening it. ANS is currently up on 3 points, the D point and C point being capped. Various decoys being shed by our ship here, the Mailman. We'll watch and see what happens here. So in this case, Marlowe just kind of hanging back and waiting for the enemy to do something, playing the reactionary role. Watching as on the left flank here, we see 2 fleets stacking up. The bulk freighters coming about here, ready to unleash their firepower as best they can. You see a couple shots coming in now from the battleship. These 2 fleets squaring off against each other. A 450 battle typically will go towards the OSP side. They just have better range involved with it. But it's not to write off the power of a battleship. And battleship forward-facing is taking very much advantage of that thin profile and slanted armor. Trying to get through this thing is nigh impossible unless you have a 450 AP round right to the nose. So we're going to watch and see just how much damage this thing can take. Battleships are notoriously hard to kill. The joke is that it takes 20 minutes of fire or a midshipman piloting it to kill a battleship. A little bit of shade thrown at the new players, but In this case, we're going to watch as the battleship trades its fire with the OSP here. In this case, we're seeing the OSP already taking quite a few hits. The missile launchers going offline, although they have a lot of restores. 8 restores in total is something that is only available really to the OSP with their DC locker storage, giving them 4. It takes a very big slot, though. And watch as the guns here fire their casemates. Bam, 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 bam. Getting some good shots off on the battleship here, which is taking some return fire. There's that 450 AP I was talking about. The yellow rounds punching through most of the armor here. You can see a couple of them glance off or just flat out miss. They are not on a perfect track currently. The Bloodhound radar is still needing to be brought into bearing. Oh, actually it has now been activated, so they're getting a pretty good shot on the battleship. One important thing to do is to trim a battleship of its escorts. You can see here it has a flak escort along with a electronic warfare support ship. If you can manage to neutralize this, the battleship becomes a lot more vulnerable as they are only one ship that is having to contend with the entire incoming enemy fleet's package of goodies. In this case, we see a bunch of size 2 missiles probably coming in to try and do just that. However, given the point defense available to this fleet and the electronic warfare provided, we're most likely not going to see that happen. Yep. Illuminators here just kind of highlighting the enemy fleet. These missiles just kind of veering off to nothing. I think they were mistargeted or something. Yep, just kind of random spread shot, so a little bit of targeting error there. Happens to the best of us, depending when your radar panels get shot out. You can see here the Bloodhound radar has been knocked offline, so unfortunately their high precision accuracy targeting is not being brought to bear. Let's take a look at what else is happening around the map. We can see plenty of these containers being fired off here. Ah, here it is. Here's the big missile volley we were waiting for. So this is a whole bunch of size 2 missiles going after the ship here in the center. You can see it popping all of the chaff in the world, trying to get them a bad radar return. You can see a illuminator beam, the little green blast here coming in. So this will either be a really good hit or a really bad one. We can see the sim speed dropping down here as the game tries to process all of those incoming missiles. You can also see a volley of containers being set up to fire as well. So, just watch now and see just how this thing fares. Turn off the camera here as we watch a massive storm of lead and flak being put towards those missiles. Size 2 missiles are not the toughest thing, but those flak guns do have to reload. You can see a couple of size 2s breaking through and finally getting a good hit, the battleship being a very large radar track. You can see a couple of them missed and whipped around trying to hit other targets. Following this up, we have a couple of shipping containers as well. Shipping containers are very big and slow and large targets vulnerable to the kinetic point defense. Although in this case, the battleship seems to have largely shrugged it off. Yeah, we'll see if this last one gets through. Nope, in this case, the battleship took a couple hits. We can see the forward cannon suffered a devastating hit to it, bringing it down to 31%. However, the majority of the ship is in fact okay. In fact, a lot of these ships are okay. Although in this case, it did lose a stone wall from an unlucky missile hit, so... That is the power of good layered point defense and why you should always bring escort ships, because without the extra flak provided by the older host here, or older hoax rather, it would not have had the same point defense killing power and would most likely have suffered heavily from those missile hits. It wouldn't knock the battleship out, but it would definitely set it back. Here we see the 450 guns of the healthy bulk freighter being brought to bear on this target. Another wave of the size 2s coming in now. Let's take another look at this along with some more containers. Good old cinematic camera going off here as the missile seekers activate and they zoom onto the appropriate targets. Seeing them all trying to decide which target to hit. A couple of them zooming by here as we see, again, bam, bam, bam. Bunch of good hits here. The battleship is very tough to bring down with size 2 hybrid, or just size 2s rather. Size 2 hybrids would be interesting to see against it. I don't think they would do very much though. Either way, we're seeing a bunch of the missiles come through and make their impact felt. So, in this case, now the gun has been properly redded out, so that's one gun down, facing towards the enemy. And we see the older hoax here has been eliminated from the fight. It is properly grayed out. Good old missile hit to the drive and the reactor, rendering it inoperable, has just trimmed the point defense field considerably. So, we might see a third volley coming out here. Oh, in this case, we see another volley going towards the fleet of light cruisers down here. So the light cruisers have 250mm RPF rounds, which can shoot down a couple of these incoming. We're going to see if they're doing that. Yep, you see the radio proximity fuse rounds coming out, trying to provide that dual-purpose functionality of shooting down incoming missiles. That said, there's a lot of size 2s, and this fleet needs to very much quickly move or choose what it wants to do, because the defenders that it currently has are not the most effective against incoming size 2s. That said, that flak screen, on the other hand, might be. That is a very good flak screen we're seeing coming off of these rebounds, so... Nice little mixture of point defense here, rebounds on the escorts, and then some defenders on the main lead ship here, along with bullseye jammers. In this case, 2 defenders and the bullseye jammers doing their jobs, shooting down the variety of incoming things. You need a balance of point defense turrets to guard against different ships. As you see over here, the early warning radar ship that was smacked in the early game, although it did lose its primary function, it is still able to cap the point here, so OSP is now back in the game on 2 points compared to the 1 lead that the ANS has. See a lot of missiles coming in now. We're going to see just where these are going. The battleship choosing to cut its losses and push back a little bit towards the relatively safer space over here. You see these decoy containers coming in now. As they lock on, they're going to most likely start shedding decoys any second now. Any second? Wake, decoy. Maybe they already shed their decoys. Either way, seeing the containers kind of trickle in now, the battleship is likely to take a hit or two more this game, though it depends entirely on the container pathing. It looks like the pathing was set widely for the area where it used to be, rather than aiming where it is going to be. Though we might see some of these containers go after one of these ships here. You can see the Soldier roll took a devastating hit, again, knocking out the reactors. However, this ship does have a restore hidden somewhere in it that I can't actively see. Where is that restore hidden, actually? They have a rapid locker. This should be out of the fight. Oh, no, never mind. It has a redundant reactor. So, although the ship is immobilized, it's still able to contribute a little bit to the fight, being a sensor range. We can see a couple of mines have been shed over here, discouraging any fleet to push this way. As we see the Berry 5th coming over here, trying to get its guns onto target. In this case, is masked by the hull, or it is trying to reload. So, a little bit of micro being required there. This battleship taking a good chunk of hits now, as we watch the plasma stripping off its armor on the top side. They really don't like that top gun. The 66 cannon getting a lot of love given to it. We can see now the 250 CLs getting into position to try and engage onto these small ships here. In this case, the monitors are not the toughest ship currently, although they are able to survive a good deal of 250 punishment. This one got knocked out most likely by a missile strike or other various form of combat, given the sort of devastation scene here. It is technically not out of the fight, although as far as living on a ship would go, I would definitely not pick this as my choice of ship. The entire front is kind of missing. So, we're seeing a couple monitors still in the fight, relatively speaking. A lot of repairs having to be made here, specifically to the magazine, which stores all of the missiles. So, you see here as well, one of the bulk freighters was heavily damaged, but is slowly coming back into the fight now. Its guns are unfortunately missing its ammunition, so it's most likely going to need to restore that, wherever that would be. I'm missing where this thing's magazine is. Here it is. So, unfortunate. The magazine is inoperable. It is out of restores, so can happen to the best of us. Still, there is an operational ship here with plenty of guns still left in it. The magazine on this one is healthy. It's a nice chunk of 450mm ammo to fire at the enemy fleet. You can see here the plasma monitor doing its job, trying to strip off the armor here, although at this range the plasma is less effective than up close. Still doing its best. Watch as the battleship tries to maneuver around here, keeping front towards the enemy as best it can. Take a little look around the map wider. You can see a couple of these sort of support ships here, just the kind of missile launchers just hanging out here. In this case, they've expended their ammo, so they're just going to hide and wait. Over here, we see a bit of action as the container liner here is getting jumped on by a singular corvette. I don't know if this corvette has any ammo left. I don't think it does. Size 1, technically a threat. Size 3. It does actually have a torpedo left in the banks, so we might see just how close this thing will get before firing its last torp. In this case, we see the container liner here appears to have taken a big hit from torpedoes. You can see the container banks here are largely offline, along with the DC locker that would be needed to get them online. Ooh, double analysis annex and an intel center. They really want to know what is up on this map. So normally you see only an intel center because it is very fast. The analysis annex gives it a 30% boost to the speed it analyzes tracks. So in this case, the OSP, at the very least, they know exactly what they are facing, or at least they did until it got hit by a bunch of missiles. Still, good intelligence there. Lone corvette bravely charging forward and taking out most of the effectiveness of this ship. I don't believe, actually, it might have 1 or 2 container banks left. Yep. So it's got a couple missiles left on it, but it has to very carefully decide when to fire those, as trying to launch missiles when the enemy's point defense turrets are perfectly in range to counter you is not ideal. So we're going to look at the other side of the map again. We're seeing more action going off here as a couple shots being exchanged. These CLs are trying to decide where they want to push to right now. They're kind of occupying the middle space here, guarding the A-point high. Watching as the battleship here is trying to decide which one it wants to shoot at. It's taking its best shot at the very wounded monitor over here. Need another big sip of water. Hang on a second, chat. Ooh, good array there, although unfortunately most of the shots did not hit true. actually, they did manage to knock out the drive, which I believe, yes, actually, wow, they managed to hit exactly where they needed. I take it back. Good shot. You can see the ship now completely grayed out, meaning that there's nothing left for it. In 30 seconds from now, it will launch its life pods. There we go, big sippy of water had. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in the other battle space. That little frigate doing its job. Not frigate, that is a corvette, excuse me. I am a little bit eepy and not thinking straight. So, either way, we're just going to take a look around. CL's doing CL things. We see a frigate here has unfortunately... Oh, that's actually the same frigate. I just got false positive on it. This frigate is the one that is still technically alive, so the battleship's escorts have been trimmed, but a battleship is still a battleship and in the fight. We're going to see if the ships here want to come over and get some. They're currently in position to do so, although we're seeing them not having any orders issued, so they're just kind of hanging out, regrouping, as it were. See, the plasma cannon has been knocked out on this, so that is rather unfortunate. It does require the gun to be operational in order to fire. Just, you know, a little bit of logic dictates that. This one, on the other hand, has, again, gotten the front fell off symptom, where not much of the ship is exactly left. Technically, it has ammo and a command structure and the ability to use its radar, although not much can really be said is going to be done by this for the rest of the fight. That said, it got its containers off, so it's done its job. Seeing the spyglass ships on the outside, still providing their good intelligence. They know exactly where the orange team is. We're going to see this blue team coming along here now. Alright, so we see the Berry 5th taking a bunch of fire here from these CLs. You can see all those 250 guns kind of turning and burning onto it now. It's probably going to need to get out of here in a second, as that incoming fire will strike true. 250 high explosive dealing good damage. You see the berthing getting shot out here immediately. Sorry, folks, but your bunk beds are gone. A bunch of the other areas now taking damage. So the ship is going to quickly dive below cover here and get out of the line of fire. It needs to come up and start shooting some stuff, although I'm not sure if it has a good enough lock to shoot on. So we're going to just see how it ends up going. You can see some radar jamming coming out in this red cone here. In this case, they're trying to jam one fleet while engaging the other. Trying to only fight one fleet at once is a good thing to do. In this case, because they have lost their target, they're changing their angling and deciding to shoot at the no other way. A ship that is mostly on its way out, as is. You can see a lot of grayed out missing modules here. I believe, yep, no more restores left on this thing, so it is largely just a decoy at this point. It does take a lot of shots to actually kill a bulk freighter with 250, although it is possible. You just have to proceed to punch it for about 20 minutes or so, it feels, because trying to hit the exact modules you need, which is the reactors and the drives and the reinforced command and control center, that is a bit difficult some days, especially when your guns decide they want to just, spray the entire side of it. In this case, we're seeing the retaliation fired from the final orders here. Big old shots coming through towards the CLs, or at least they were for a second. I think they lost their fire order because they lost their radar track, by the looks of it. Yes. I want to say that's the case. Yep. So in this case, the light cruisers being just far enough away that they are not able to be brought onto radar. You can see bulk freighters doing bulk freighter things, deciding they want to just spin whatever direction. What type of radar does this thing have? It has a Bulwark Huntress, which means it has an effective range of 10 kilometers or so. In this case, though, the ship is unfortunately not able to see anything because of that jamming cone, so it will need some support here. Hopefully, a cross-fix will be provided by one of the friendly fleets here. You see the monitors have come over here to try and deal with this little ship here. I've already forgotten the name of it. The Grummy's right hand. A little spiteful torpedo being fired here. Oh, that was very interesting. We saw a grazer try and fire through the corvette there, but unfortunately, there's the grazer going again. No, I didn't mean to do that. I want to see the missile hit. Right in time just to see it smack the front of the ship. So this is a feeder which is having a bad day. The torpedoes hitting true. Amazingly, you managed to block a torpedoes from being destroyed by a grazer laser defense turret with the hull itself. I don't think I've ever seen that done. That is a new one for me. So something new every day, chat. Anyways, we're seeing the little 250 guns on the front of the ships here, just doing what they can to try and kill off this little annoying corvette that is preventing the container liner being freed up. So, very effective use by the ANS side. I think this ship would cost maybe 300 points or so, maybe a little more depending on the size of torpedoes in quantity and quality. But either way, we're seeing the ANS pull ahead by a 300-point lead here. The game can still be won by the OSB side. They just need to get onto the cap points and start engaging the enemy and bring them to their knees. You see the bad score here bringing its broadside to bear with that backpack beam turret trying to get into range. It's just out of range by the looks of it. I don't, unfortunately, have the ability to measure distance, but any second now we should see this thing come to bear and bring a nice little green beam turret goodness. Reminds me a lot of free space, so we're going to see if the bad score gets its job done or not. It's providing a lot of 450 fire onto the 5th, what was that? The Berry 5th. I had the names turned off, that's why I couldn't see them. So the Berry 5th, a capable ship in its own right, although it's not being brought fully to bear here. It needs to flip over and fire both of its guns to really deal that devastating OSP 450 firepower. So I'm going to watch as it tries to break away now from the battleship. Battleship outweighing it a little bit here. Let's go ahead and see. So there's a couple ships still left in the game here. In this case, we see the Penguin Coder finding solace in its minefield, trying to hide as best as it can. I believe these mines came from the containers carried alongside these ships. Although I could be wrong on that. I didn't see them deploy. We're seeing a torpedo strike out here from the Grummy's right arm. Torpedoes very devastating when they hit your ship. You don't want to get torped. Big old smackhead rocket here. Just watching as a good torp hit is had, and we're going to follow this one in here now. And kabloom. Gonna watch as the internals of this ship are kind of turned to paste as another torpedo will come in now. Bam! You see more cannons being knocked offline here, including the magazine. Very important to have. In this case, it has 2 of them, although unfortunately both of them are knocked out right now. So they're gonna have to get those back online if they can. Oh dear. That is all of the DC lockers knocked out, which means that this ship's magazines are unfortunately unfixable. That will be the end of the firepower scene for the Berry 5th. So hopefully the ANS team does not know that, but when the ship does not shoot back at you, it's a good sign. So in this case, this might be in the bag for the ANS team, as we are seeing them cap the B point now, having finally eliminated the Ghost Eye over here. So with a 5 cap, that should be fairly decided. We are still seeing, connection loss. Oh no. I believe the server may have gone down or I've disconnected. So we're just going to close and clear that. I may have lost connection to the server. How unfortunate. Well, chat, I believe that this can be chalked up as an ANS win. It's entirely possible that the server might have closed down. But either way, we're going to treat that as a win for the ANS team, and we're going to look to get into another game ourselves. Yeah. So we'll just clear the little error log there and see if we can't host our own. Thought I saw a 7 out of 10 game, although unfortunately that one's in progress. All right. Let's take a little look-see around the place. So currently, there is no lobby up. I am going to host my own lobby and then take a little ad break here, just that way we don't get an ad in the middle of the game. Call it nebulous nonsense as such. We're going to go back to hosting the game as we planned earlier. I'm going to select Arroya. I'm going to join the OSP and load up my own container liner, since that looked kind of fun. So with that said, I'm going to go on a 3-minute ad break now, so we will be back in 3 minutes. That way Twitch does not interrupt us and yell at me, because Twitch is kind of like that. So yeah, we will be back in 3 minutes. Yeah. Alright, chat, we are back. Lobby has filled up a little bit as I get the game audio boosted back up. Hopefully not too loud. Anyways, lobby is now full, so we're just gonna figure out a bit of a fleet. Let's see. I'm gonna call dibs on the liner. We were joking about having 3 container liners, which is not the best of ideas, but still can be very funny sometimes. In this case, we've got a match on Arroyo with a couple of names here, so just gonna see what we can do. We could go with 4 container liners, although I feel that is a little too silly for this game. Just a tad. Just a little too silly there. Trying to show off container liners for my stream. Just kind of plug my stream a little bit there. I try not to plug my stream anywhere because I feel it's just like a little on the nose where you say, hey, I'm on Twitch, come look at me. I'd prefer people to find me naturally or through their own sort of searching, but like, this Catboy seems interesting. If you're just kind of plastering, you know, hey, look at my Twitch on everyone's chat bars, then it just feels a little bit noisy. Still, this could end up being a good bad thing, so. You know what? I'm just gonna say whatever y'all want, I guess. Just gonna go with that. Time limit. We don't need a time limit for this because we have the control points. So in any case, screw it. I'm just gonna ready up with this. If they want to run a little fleet like this, that's okay with me. I'm just gonna try and show off some shipping container work. So there. See Orbit here, just picking out a fleet to pick. I believe they're adjusting their container liner. My container liner has only 2 banks. I'm going for the quality containers versus the quantity that we're seeing in other places. They have container stack launchers. That's interesting. Huh. It's not often you see container stack launchers on a ship like that. I guess they just wanted 2 more slots or something. Either way. Just gonna see them rejoining stuff now, so hopefully we will not be too silly. I was hoping to do some missile support play, but if Neelix Seal really wants to container, it could work. Prefer not, but I won't stop you. So there. If they want to face double container, why not? Generally, I don't think this is a best thing for success, but it does also let us throw a lot of boxes at people. So, why not? You see our friendly fleet here. We've got a nice little Acello command cruiser providing a good frontline stability. We've got a Bloodhound monitor here providing blocks and some container supports. Oh, actually, they've changed over now. Going for a brawling fleet of monitors using that plasma to strip armor and then the T-30s to exploit that weakness. We've got a pair of brawling bulk freighters here as well, using the T-30s and plasma cannons, in this case, the turrets on the sides, along with topside broadside of 250 guns. So, fun little vertical ships. All right, we're just waiting for a Vastal now, and then we're going to get some container liner gaming going. Yeah, should be a nice mixture of the plasma fleets, kind of doing plasma fleet stuff. Plasma is very good when you have it en masse, because then you can get some very interesting ships stripped of their armor, such as a battleship that suddenly has no more armor and is very susceptible to everything being thrown at it. So, see, ready up, Vastal. Just a little walk of encouragement here. Don't want to push them too much, but that being said, we are waiting on them. So, all right, we are good to go. So we are going to go to Arroyo and double shipping container somebody. I don't know if this is going to work or not, so we're going to find out. It might be funny. Generally, you only see one sort of a support fleet like this per game, as typically you're lending yourself to 2 or 3 frontline fleets, that being stuff that usually features a lot of guns. But since I managed to get a win earlier tonight with the double frigate support fleets, I think it should be doable with the OSP's double shipping container supports. Arroyo is a nice big open flat map, so it's very good for gun fleets, meaning they'll probably plan to counter those, so we might catch them off guard. In this case, I'm going to shipping container myself over here. This just gives me a good commanding spot to throw missiles. In this case, we see the C points and the E points being on our side of the map. Arroyo is this kind of cool donut-shaped thing. Kind of like a donut with a bite out of it, if you look at it right. Very open on top, meaning that the OSP likes to set up high and shoot their guns all the way across here, and the ANS kind of does the same with railguns, them able to more or less match each other. The underside is very happy to be flanked, like you'll get a bunch of destroyers or other brawl fleets going on the underside here, trying to get very close to each other and up close and personal. And then you've got the outside flanks, where you can sometimes see people go around this side and try and come around high to get onto the defensive line there, or you can see people who will brave this sort of expanse here. There's a bit of cover that's provided by these rocks, but it's also very open. So, gonna hit our deploy key and just wait for the enemy team to decide what they want to do as well. You can see the Shruggan Horde, I believe, is our other container liner, so they're going to be covering the right side while I missile the left. Hopefully, friendly fleet will be able to provide me good radar locks, because as a container liner, I should never be seen. That said, I do carry a collection of decoys on this variant, so I should be able to fool the enemy into thinking that I am doing something foolish by sending a bunch of decoys up and about here. With any luck, that is. There's the entire possibility that they will just not buy it and instead decide, you know what, we're just going to push over you because you don't seem like you have enough ships. And I'll have to send a decoy ship towards A at the first start, because that will generally be what they expect you to do. And we're going to fool them because that's what they expect. Aha! Hoping they have a battleship. I have anti-battleship missiles. Hang on, gonna sneeze. Nekoboy at you. Seeing a little formation forming up on the left side here. Probably a Axford plus escorts, if I had to guess. My bank, that's 2 Axfords. I saw 2 Axfords sized plumes. Plus 3 escorts. There we go.
Ready.
We're just going to position ourselves on this rock and get our first missile strike going out here. In this case, we're going to fire one of our decoy clipper ships, which is the identification for tugs and shuttles. We're just going to fire this thing down here, making it look like it is a... let me just path this thing correctly. There we go. Good pathing is important for missiles. Just going to path this thing around like a shuttle would when capping the A point. Just kind of keeping it busy. There we are.
Solution locked in.
Probably overkill, but still. No kill like overkill. Going to send one on the bottom as well. That way they will see it on both angles. I'm going to use the tool to flip the map here. There we are. Send you along like so. Try to keep as much straight lines, because that's typically how people will path their ships. Missiles, on the other hand, are very good when spiral path, so this should make it look realistic to anyone who wants to wander down this way. Boop, 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 boop. There we go.
Launch
Perfect.
2 clear.
Additionally, I will send one more of you, as I will flip back over to the outside here. Kind of looking the way that a ship like this would move. There we go. It'll be up to here. Yeah, perfect.
Launch confirmed.
And then we're going to fire, again, more decoys, like so.
The enemy is
Making it
securing
look
zone
like a fleet of big ships coming up around the outside here.
Launch 2
I'm
clear.
going to send another one just like that. This is just the early game decoy plays that we're doing, just trying to fool the enemy into thinking we are stronger than we are. Something about Sun Tzu, appear strong when you're weak when you're strong, all that jazz. Just going to stay close to my friendly fleet here for a little bit of emotional support. Point my nose that way and adjust my ship's heading as well. Or adjust my ship's roll. That way I get a good roll-off angle. In this case, we're seeing the decoys heading out now, so these will show up as big old bulk freighters and stuff. So the enemy will probably think that I'm in the right spot for those.
Receiving.
Let's see, I'm going to send a cheeky decoy as well. Actually, I think I've sent out enough decoys for right now. We're going to hold off on them for later. We're seeing some containers flying onto the point here and missing, unfortunately.
Ready.
That said, I think that I can strike that decently, so I'm just going to fire a couple of very basic boxes, like so. Boop, 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 boop. Go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. There we are.
Preparing to
So,
launch.
there's a good chance that those won't hit anything, but those are dirt cheap containers, so I'm okay with losing them. Also, that ship did not appear to have point defense, so because they already know we have a container liner, they shouldn't be too worried about this. Oh, we're seeing a nasty bunch of size 2 hybrids coming out here, probably looking for our container liner.
Standing by.
See, yep, my missiles popping off here, flying out. See, these are active radar with the EO validator, so those are very expensive for size 2s. Wonder where those are headed. It's like, I would assume they would then dip down, but they may have just been overshot direct fires. Oh well.
By.
Fine by me if the enemy wants to miss. Said, I think that I will deploy a decoy here-ish, more or less. Trying to convince the enemy that there is, in fact, stuff about. I need a little more intel to know how to properly fool them. Just waiting for my scouting missiles and stuff to do their job so I can actually see what the enemy has. Oh, we see some RPF rounds coming off here, so... Okay, so I'm going to get a attack marker ready so I can identify where the enemy is in a second. RPF rounds not very effective against my containers. I believe they have about 2,000 health, or not 2,000, 200 health, so RPF rounds don't deal that much damage. They're much more better against little light missile swarms like these size 2s we saw earlier. Okay, where are those rounds coming from? Where are those rounds coming from? I expected to see a ship, although now it would appear that I don't. How rude. See a bunch of chaff being popped here, although that will not help, unfortunately, for this missile ship, I believe. Oh, a jamming ship, actually, so... Unfortunately, this thing is about to bite it. Wham, wham! Let's see, did that flat out kill it? I believe that should have. You must still have a restore or something, so... In case, we're just going to signal a attack marker where it was. That's like... here-ish, I think. And just fire a pair of those again. Off chance one of them ends up dying. Probably overkill, but still, they're cheap. We're going to send them. Rely on my allies again, moving up just a little bit more. So I've got my decoy clippers shown here and my line ships going about. So we know that there's a light cruiser pairing, or hopefully a pairing down there that we can send good missiles at. See my ship doing a little bit of a silly maneuvering here as it tries to adjust its roll. We know we got at least one effective kill. Oh, there's one. Just going to mark that as a priority target here, because that should be the light cruiser. 5045 suspected CL. Nenya. Now, we just got to watch what comes underneath here as well. So we have to be aware of the entire map, not just the angles that we're pushing. That's the benefit of indirect fire support. You can be anywhere at any time, or in my case, anywhere within, I believe, 16 kilometers. Let's check. Yep, 16 kilometers. So, case A point is getting a little bit contested.
We're reading you.
So, that said, we're going to go ahead and send some of the good stuff. Is that really worth shooting at, though? I don't know what you are yet, so I'm just going to wait a second.
Receiving.
Axford and Vox, eh? Alright, well. See where my allies' pathing goes. Yep, he's firing a good volley here, so we're going to do the exact same thing they are. And just proceed to send a volley of 10 missiles. Ta-da!
Solution locked in.
They'll go after the Voxel, or at least it should. Which should probably be turned to paste. Actually, that's probably overkill. We're just going to cancel that fire order.
Course laid in.
See, so they are on the A point. We know that much. I'm going to send some of the basic boxes, I think. Just again, verifying what I think the enemy has. Yep. Got to just adjust my pathing a little bit more here. So boop, boop, and boop. There we go.
Launch 2 clear.
Voxel is about to have a bad day. Let's see, allies containers coming in now. I am just playing the patience game because I knew that they were going to get hit by missiles, so I'm just going to rely on my allies' missile strike to hit this one first. Most likely going to get through all this point defense. You see the defenders finally chipping away there, but the decoys doing a decent job at countering. In this case, we see a couple good missile hits here, although some of them overshot. Ah, that's a missile light cruiser. Interesting.
We're reading Reading.
All right. Well, it is royally screwed by the amount of fire that's been given into it, so it's good for us anyways. Need to play aware of where that thing is.
Receiving.
Now then. Again, playing patience, because I know that my ally is using a bunch of their missiles. I want them to be convinced that there's just one missile ship and that there's not actually two. They've not scouted me yet, and I'm trying to keep it that way. The keystone here. Just going to mark a attack marker on it. There we are. This voxel is not long for this world, as it is about to get absolutely pummeled by missiles. So I think it might have been knocked out. I don't see the magic smoke, although it won't be long now before this last volley ends up hitting it. Or it cooks off. I believe I can get through that thing's point defense network. It does not appear to have any flak. No, it does not.
We're reading
So
you.
in that case then, we are just going to fire a volley of our regular boxes here. Should be about the 3 kilometer mark, give or take. And 10.
Launch 2 clear.
Gonna fire those roughly on its trajectory, and we should get a hit. If we don't hit that ship, then we will definitely hit the voxel behind it.
Standing by.
Waiting for our containers to launch now. It will look likely like this guy pathed up to where I am and then fired past. Again, don't want to tip our hand.
Ready.
We're to now try firing another series of decoys out along this side. Make them think that we are moving up when we are, in fact, doing something entirely different. Yeah. There we are. Now, that Vox is not long for this world, and I don't think that destroyer will be either. See a bunch more of those size 2 hybrids that I'm trying to keep myself unspotted from. Now, this Keystone Destroyer does not have any flak, meaning that these decoys are going to be very effective, because the best way of shooting down decoys is, well, just by kind of spewing a bunch of stuff at them. I've got this. You can see those defenders trying to shoot down these incoming flare missiles. Unfortunately, they're going to fail, as they are all seduced, and this is a very dead Keystone. Kabonk. Kabonk. And bonk. There's a lot of missile power going into it now as we watch it just get shredded, as was planned. Just as planned. All right. That should be a dead ship, which it is.
Ready.
Keystone down. Perfect volley. Though that voxel is still unfortunately alive. How annoying.
Standing by.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
See our friendly little monitor fleet here taking a couple hits. This one particularly got cooked. Woof. Look at that. Ew.
Standing by.
Nasty. All right. So now we just need to be smart about our stuff and go from there. Hopefully this will get a missile strike launched at us. I'm going to send another little decoy container up this way.
Preparing to launch.
And then also fire a clipper directly across. Figuring it looks like I'm trying to brave the midsection here and then go for the caps. Then I'll send it down that way. There we go.
Missile supply.
Looking at our allies down here, they're doing pretty well. The D point is relatively uncontested. Nails is calling for help. Where and what? Ah, I see. That would be a problem.
Orders.
All right, well, time to send the good stuff.
The enemy secured zone eclipse.
Preparing to launch.
Gonna fire this here before they are able to detect me. So you can see the panic launches here as they try and do a pathing against those ships. I don't believe that they have radar, so they're gonna get chewed up by this. Yes.
Standing by.
Luckily, I happen to have more boxes. So they're gonna quickly realize that there is, in fact, 2 container liners. You can see, yeah, the missiles here struggling, although they might get a hit on the already knocked out CL. Not turning fast enough, unfortunately.
We're reading you.
Still, we're going to see how good my strike is as I oriented it more or less where I think was the right spot. It might get seduced onto the already dead ship. We're going to find out. With any luck, it does not and goes after the living one. I might have to adjust my pathing a bit. Oop. Yes, unfortunately, it's going to go after that one. So,
Receiving.
still, we will be able to fire another volley, as it
We are
were.
securing zone
I
Dagger.
believe that I can just use the cheap missiles on this.
Power's back on again.
Oop. Uh-oh. We lost a
Power
player.
is back
So
on
that
now.
means that I am going to have to do multiple things. Ugh. All right, we're going to see what this fleet is over here, because, okay,
Aye, aye.
I can work with this, I think. This thing is facing entirely the wrong direction. We're just
Aye,
going to
aye.
try and roll it around the other way.
Acknowledged.
All right. I don't entirely know what's in these things, so we're just going to have to try and go with it. Yeah.
Roger that.
All right.
Acknowledged.
Take a look at our container liner here, which is getting jumped on by that voxel, which should bite it in a second here. I don't think it has enough to contend with the volley I sent it.
Standing by.
Still going to just move myself out of this awkward spot that I found myself in. Capturing the D point should happen pretty quickly. Just going to set these to holding there. Loose formation. Right, you lot are going to... I'm going to do a ghost fire order here, so that way I'm able to kind of keep you oriented that way. There we go. All right. Seeing a whole bunch of shots coming into this CL here. Wham, 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 wham. Excellent. That thing should be effectively killed, I think. Seeing most of it go down. Yep. Last of our containers coming out now. Bam, bam. So, if that thing's not dead, I will be very surprised.
Ready.
Ah, there it is. Now they finally figured out. Haha, we have 2 container liners. We thought about having 4. See, we can do a little tomfoolery. Like I said, by cleverly keeping our ships spaced apart, we were able to make them think that we only had 1 container liner with a lot of stuff. And in this case, now we see that they are just getting surprised. Because they thought they had us on the rocks, but as it turns out, we have them on the run. Not exactly sure where my metaphor is going with this, but we're going to go with it anyways. All right. See, there's that voxel over there. I don't actually see the enemy fleet. Ah, there's that keystone that should be dead. We're just going to mark it killed. Axford on B point. Okay. Uh-oh.
We're reading.
Uh-oh. That ain't good. We need to not be here now. Yeah, like, really not. We're just going to fire a couple of
Hold impact.
you this way.
Launch
Ah!
confirmed.
Bad, bad, bad. Okay. We
Yeah,
are being
we've got
engaged by
internal
something,
damage here. Course laid in.
which is not good. So,
We're reading you.
what the heck is shooting us? I can't actually see. So we're going to just quickly move our fleet through the middle here, hoping to find something. I have radar on this, I thought. I do have radar. I don't know how I can't see that. Okay. Gonna move back a ways then. I think that I have these able to lock onto that ship, but we're going to find out.
Receiving.
All right. What are you?
Reporting. Send traffic.
You are not immobilized by the looks of it.
Solution locked in. Negative. Too far.
Can't see him anymore. Holding fire.
This thing is in fact dead, so that is overkill. Excellent. We can see a little bit of enemies going off there. Fire one more clipper dummy here. Ah! Just gonna send this to distract and then go from there. Next, we're going to, let's see, Ghost Fire order over here. Trying to micro 2 fleets at once is a little bit taxing. I don't know what that thing is, and I don't like it.
Missile count is
That is a
low.
keystone.
Standing
Okay,
by.
cool. What kind of flak does it have? Not enough.
Receiving.
Excellent. Just what I like to hear. So, we go to fire a volley of these at it,
Launch confirmed.
and hope that it does not have a friend. Yeah.
Receiving.
There's a Vauxhall light cruiser there, so we're going to try and lock onto that thing as best we can get. Moving like so. You are just a little picket, so you're going to go up to the A point and cap it.
Missile supply running low.
You are a illuminator ship. Gonna clear your heading, I guess.
Go ahead, Command.
Missile supply running
yeah.
low.
I don't actually know what really to do with you.
Ready.
Gonna hope for the best here. I really... Oh, crap. Okay.
We're reading you.
We're gonna have to actually path our missile strike this time, though. Cool.
Preparing to launch.
Okay.
Ready.
Gonna have to redo our pathing here. Fortunately, this thing is gonna try and get inside the tube, maybe? No, I should be able to still hit that with my missile pass, I hope. That or it hugs the rock, and I just wasted another volley.
Ready.
Alrighty, let's keep going on you. You are a little too close to everything, so you're just gonna move over this way.
Falling in.
Go down this way.
Aye, aye. Full burn.
Try and keep this out of the way. Ooh.
Orders.
Hello, you. Let's throw a couple of boxes at you. There we go, direct fire.
Line.
And that is some good hits on that. Bam, 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 bam. I did path right. Excellent.
We've been locked on.
Ready. On it. They are locking on.
Just going to fire these as quickly as possible.
We're under attack, Commander.
There we are.
Course laid in.
Fire
Aye, aye.
these. Go
Proceed.
there. Excellent.
Target lost.
All right.
Ceasefire.
Going to proceed to put all of these around here like that.
Solution locked in.
I think that will be the right angle anyways. Sometimes missile pathing gets a little bit interesting.
Positioning. Aye, aye. Full
There
burn.
we go. And then eventually I'll be able to get in range of
Missile
these things
reserves are low.
sometime.
Course laid in.
What the heck is shooting out? Oh, crap.
Central.
Didn't realize I was getting shot from above here. I can't actually see those. That's not good. Okay, that is a Axford that needs to die.
Locked in.
Damaged. How can we help today, Commander?
This is what happens when I inherit a fleet and have no idea what to do with it.
Eyes on
We
target.
lost a component.
You are approved to
Yeah,
fire
we see
all
them.
those. Yes. Go this way.
Aye, aye. Full burn.
Alright, you need to fire the good stuff here, please.
Enemy locked.
Over this way.
We're a little banged up, Commander.
Launch tube clear.
I'm
Send traffic.
playing two fleets right now, so this is
Solution
not
locked in.
ideal.
Course laid in.
Commander, we're taking damage.
All guns fire AP, please, and thank you.
Got him down.
Screw it. Full burn towards them. Flank speed.
Aye, aye. Full burn. Damage DCT.
You just go over here. I don't actually know what you have. We're just going to hope for the best. You're an illuminator only. Okay. Yep. Just
That's out
screw
of
it.
range, Commander.
Get up here. I just need a lock, please. Thank you.
Our power's taking a dive.
Okay. We are badly losing a bunch of things here. I need to restore as much as I can. Because, yeah.
Send traffic.
There we go.
Send it.
Come on, just a little closer, and we can actually get a lock on this thing.
Negative. Too far. They knocked out a module.
We're gonna need to get
Just
closer.
need you to get closer. There we go. Now we actually have a lock. Excellent. This thing is about to absolutely eat it, as I have somehow started this game playing a 3K, and now I am playing a 6K, and this is getting a little bit hairy. All right, that's good hits. We're going to keep shooting it until it dies,
Standing by.
which will hopefully be soon. You are somehow still in the game. Okay, cool.
Ready.
Right. Everyone else, you can cancel your flank order since this thing is cooking.
Receiving.
How much? What do I even have left in this thing? Okay, not much. We're good.
Channels open. We're reading you.
Let's go ahead and throw just, I don't know, this thing
Got
out somewhere.
power again.
That works.
Turn the
Good.
launch.
You can hear the sound of me panicking now as I'm trying to make this happen. All right, everyone swap over to the HEHC. We should be cooked through most of their armor by now. And we really want to bring the big guns to play.
We're
We
low
have
on
you loud and
missiles.
clear.
You are going to get shot by this grate.
Take it to
There we
him.
go. Along with this
Pistons
stuff.
going haywire.
Yes, good. You're good, and you're good.
Module restored.
You are good where you're at. Just need to move up our
Module's
locking
back
ship
online.
here.
Heading there now.
That sprinter is hard dead. Cool.
Receiving.
Let's see. Does that sprinter have any point defense? It does not. It does not. Okay, cool. Need to path containers now. It'd be really nice if I knew what fleets I had ahead of time, but oh well. Uh-oh. That looks good there.
Launch tube.
Ship sold vine. Huh, that's an interesting bug. Right then, that thing is cooking off, like, a lot. I think it might actually be dead.
Solution locked.
Yes,
in.
it is dead. Excellent. Marking killed. Cool. Now we just need to go and try and get this thing with grape shot, I think.
Solution
Yeah.
locked in.
just going to go for a cap game now.
Take
You
us
are actually back online. Very nice to see.
We're standing by.
We've lost a lock. Cease fire.
Okay. Nope, not there, actually. I'm trying to do many things right now, chat, and having a time.
Proceeding.
Okay, just gotta move this here. This should be a kill. Oh, they went after the chaff. That's what happened.
Send traffic.
All right. Think that did I get a hit on that? I didn't see.
Send traffic.
My containers are still out, so I don't think I got a hit. Either way, though, we are going to aim at that and fire.
Solution locked in.
We have you loud and
Number
clear.
4 is my locking ship, so we're going to get up here and try and do that, 'cause that's important. Looks like our allied fleet is taking care of it. We just have to see what is left on the map now.
Reporting.
Yeah. Yeah. This is fine. Everything is under control. I am not totally overwhelmed with anything, but...
Send traffic.
All right, let's see. Because that's probably handled. We're going to go over towards the B point and try and see what we can do there. And yeah. So yeah, he's got a little bit of firepower left in him.
Standing by.
Might be able to get a container hit now. We're going to try it. Fire one box.
Incoming enemy
Ah,
fire.
never mind. That's an explosive way to end. GG. That was fun. All right, so I inherited somebody's fleet. I attempted to
The enemy
do
has
stuff
been
with
scanning.
containers, and it worked out pretty good. 2CLN works. There you go. See, I got 27. Oh, no, that's their container liner. Where's mine? I got... Here's my fleet, actually. Here it is. 45,000 damage dealt. We take those. That is definitely a container line game of all time. In this case, the XL boxes with their huge glitter deploying system being very effective. Glitter is incredibly damaging. See, a bunch of my containers unfortunately missed. 10 of those flew into a rock. I know that for a fact. And then I think 9 of these I just pathed wrong. But considering I inherited a fleet here, I am pretty happy with how that went. I don't think they ever really got a good shot on us. Oh, okay, one of their destroyers definitely got some beam action done. They had... Wow. Oh, that's what those were. Those were all heck peas. Okay. Camera's freaking out. Give me a sec. There we go. So, all heck pea, active radar, passive EO. Huh. Interesting. So those are really devastating if they get you on the nose, but we never got on the nose, so I'm pretty happy about that one, chat. We take those. And yeah. All right, I think I've got time for one more good one tonight, so I'm going to open the lobby up, and while it takes time to fill, I'm going to run a ad. So, keeps making the name the wrong thing. Nebulous nonsense. So, in this case, again, yep, NekoboyBlue's Nebulous nonsense. Lobby is open for anyone who wants to play. I think I want to go to... We haven't played Halda tonight. Or Styx. Ooh, let's go to Styx. Yeah. So, lobby is up for anyone who wants to play. I'm going to go to ANS side and bring something, I guess. I could run anything here, really. What do I want to run? Well, I want to run an ad, so I'm going to run an ad, and then we'll be back in 3 minutes. This way, it makes you not have pre-roll ads, and it also keeps Twitch from being all complainery, saying, hey, you haven't done ad stuff. We're going to make you do an ad now. So, with that said, I will be back in 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere, chat. Bye. All right, we're back. Thank you for being patient, chat. I don't like running ads any more than you like watching them, so I try to keep them to a minimum. 3 minutes on the hour is the way to do this. So lobby is up right now. I'm going to give it a little bit. If nobody shows up, I might check if there's another lobby up that I can join into. Usually Neb lobbies fill up pretty quick. We will see. Let's enter a chat message here. Open lobby. Open lobby games. I have this here. I'm gonna pin this one in the old chat here for manual unpin. There we are. So, if anyone joins, we will know why. Game is up. We are currently loaded onto sticks. So I'm gonna take a look at a new fleet I had put together in the small amount of time I had off stream. So the idea of this is that I've got a nice Axford here, a good array of guns in the front, so I can face towards the enemy like so, presenting a much smaller target than the horizontal broadside would when I'd have to bring the back gun to bear. In this case, I've got a missile backpack as well, a size 3, one that I'm quite fond of. I've got a little collection of missiles here. These are some of the missiles we saw earlier. In this case, I've got active radar seekers for the ARADs, and then I've got the extendables here. That way I'm able to trigger at, if I remove the primary seeker, it'll show me, 3.7 kilometers, meaning I can shed my decoys before I get into range. Very handy to do. Cluster decoy launcher, so I can fool most point defense systems and tax them. Then I've got weave, just in case they decide to shoot at me, so I've got a little bit of wiggle space. These are for shooting at big targets, and I've got these smaller missiles, which are essentially the same thing, although they're much cheaper. In this case, I've got, let me just flip this over, got 3,000 meter stage range, so a little bit shorter range, but the active radar seeker only works at 3,000 meters. So as soon as I pick up somebody on active radar, these things will stage and then fly at them really fast. They're fairly cheap. Again, they have weave just to dodge a little bit of point defense turrets. This is a nice way to play a command fleet. In this case, I've got an intelligence center allowing me to give information to my friendly fleets. So if they have a track and they're like, hey, what's this thing? I'm able to quickly communicate, yeah, that's a bulk freighter, or that's a shuttle, or something else like that. Got double CICs in this thing, so it's very hard to knock out. A lot of damage control scattered around the ship in various locations here. You can see the point defense turrets on the side. I've got 4 Stonewall flak guns, and then 3 Defender kinetic point defense 20mm guns backing that up, providing a little bit of insurance against every type of missile. A bullseye radar on the front, so I can lock onto stuff with a, I believe it's a 2-meter error? Yes, so very small error. These ships are quite large, by the way. So able to get a very good track, deliver some good gunfire, and also a little bit of nasty missileness. That said, it does come in at about 2,000 points, so most of my fleet power is put into one ship here. And just here's the drives. All the MO elevators I could reasonably fit. Literally, I can't fit any more power out of this thing, otherwise I'd put in a 6th elevator. These improve your refire time by cutting your time between shots. It does not stack linearly, so in this case, even though these are supposedly giving me 15%, I've only got a benefit of 50.9% after I add 5 of them, so you can do the math on that. Adding on to the fleet, I've got a little ship here called the Pygmy. It's a beam destroyer. You can see the beam cannon on the front if we go here. Nice little devastating 6-kilometer weapon, although it is unfortunately fixed to the front of the ship, so I had to turn the entire thing. Also, beam gunners are notoriously drunk, so they will tend to walk their shots all over the place. Not too much complicated about this ship. I've just got a pair of guns on the top and bottom, some more flak on the left and right side, along with the defender's top and bottom, giving it nice hemispheres of coverage. So, this is meant to act as a sort of smaller knife fighter vessel in case something wants to get up close and personal. I've got a beam to discourage them doing that. Also, the cannons to discourage any other light ships. And lastly, I've got the Snoop, a quick little 215-point corvette here. This is used so that I can quickly get around the map and cap points, or also detect people with the spyglass. 11.5 kilometers is the longest range radar that the ANS faction has. This syncs up very well with my intelligence center, since I can send my scout off to quickly identify the enemy fleet and then figure out which ones I want to pick a fight with. Yeah. That's the basics of it. I'm just, again, waiting for... just going to save this fleet. I don't know what I might have changed, but I'm sure it was for the better. We go back to our lobby. We see there's currently no one in lobby, which makes me suspect that there's another game up right now. So we're just going to keep the lobby open and just hang out waiting for a little bit. People should show up. Actually going to go to the Nebulous Discord and say looking for a group just to get some people involved. Let's see, where is that looking for game channel? 3K. I already got somebody joining in now, so just put up the looking for group call, so a couple people should check channel and hopefully hop in. Normally, you end up waiting like a little bit with your lobby because you'll see 1 out of 8 slots are filled. And they're like, there's nobody in here. I'll just hang on for a while. And then quickly people all jump in when they see 5, 6, 7 slots are filled. And they're like, oh, I need to get that last slot. Just the trials and tribulations of Nebulous Lobby Command. Maybe we should call it Nebulobby Fleet Command. That'd be a good name for a stream title. I'll have to write that down somewhere. Chat, remember that. Need that water. Does make me think that there's another game open right now, but I don't see anyone anywhere, so. Regardless. Let's just check and see if the looking for group calls had any responses yet. Nothing yet, but we've only just posted it, so we'll just have to give it time. In the meantime, we can take a look at more of our fleet ideas. So this is the current fleet I kind of wanted to play, but I'm going to take a look at some other stuff I've been working on. So for ANS, I have thought about redoing my battleship, although I'll be honest, I don't really enjoy playing battleships. I find they're just a little bit too big and slow for me to enjoy playing. I prefer the sort of faster hulls, although that said, the axe rate is not that much faster. It does weigh less, though, which matters. If we compare this to a Solomon, you see 21,000 tons versus the 13,000 tons. So not quite half the weight, but a significant difference there. You have to factor in the thrust that you're able to put out. So in this case, we've got 18.2, I believe that's meganewtons of linear thrust. I've got extra 30% from our Raider drive. So the thrust is multiplicative against the tonnage, which is the resistance against motion, because, you know, object in motion wants to stay in motion, or object at rest stay in rest, Newton's laws and all of that stuff. So I find whenever I run a battleship, it's just a little bit too sluggish, just for my liking anyways. I also don't like just how much points I have to invest into a battleship, because I'm going to have to spend at least 2,000 points on it, and then I've got 2,000 points that is not the most flexible. Battleships are very good at being battleships, which is to say they take a whole bunch of damage in the front line and are able to dish it out pretty good, but I prefer the flexibility that's afforded by the Axfred platform. It just feels a little bit faster, a little bit better. Got more missile programming channels baseline, so I can fire a missile strike of 3 instead of the battleship's only 1. So I don't think battleships are exactly bad. I just don't think that they are necessarily worth it most of the time. I prefer playing a wider fleet. So that said, I could also load up a trio of voxels, which I had been trying to make work. I found that 3 voxel fleets I don't find as much success with as I used to. I've got a very old build here, which is a collection of them with their little Mark 64 250mm guns and some VLS ones. What else do I have in the bank here? Swarm of these. Here's the latest iteration of CLs that I was trying to work on. So in this case, I have a little frigate here known as the Stays and Apron. Name I didn't pick, but auto-generated for me. It's got a bullseye for fire control lock, a hang-up to jam the enemy communications, making it so they can't talk, and then 2 blanket jammers to try and blind them effectively. So this is in support of a pair of my little CLs here. I've got missile backpacks on them, a VLS-3 again. This is a little test I've been trying to put out, which is using high explosive kinetic penetrators. These are very expensive. You can see the base cost here, 0.25 versus 2 points per point of missile goodness. So in this case, these cost 63, and these are really luxury. We've got a command seeker in them, along with a steerable active radar, just as a backup. I don't remember exactly why I put that there, but I believe it's just because I had the points to do it over a fixed active seeker. We got the old cluster decoy to really confuse enemy missile systems. No terminal maneuvers, because one of the quirks of HEC-P is that you really have to hit them on the nose. It is, as the name implies, a kinetic penetrator, so you're trying to poke somebody in the nose and then go all the way down to their engines, or the other way around if you can get it up their tailpipe, which is a little bit harder to do since enemies typically don't put their backs towards you. Rather annoying, that. Anyways, we got our usual missiles here just as our kind of backup. So most of our fleet's power is put into missiles, as it would be. See, we've got 202 here. Okay, I say most, but most of it is actually going in towards our CL's 250 volley. But we are dedicating 400 points worth of our fleet into missiles, at the very least. Then we've got about, let's say this is kind of a collective early warning and scout ship. So let's call that 450 into just kind of intelligence warfare. And then the last 1,000 or so points we're putting into our hulls for our CLs, and then all the gunny goodness in them. We've got a bunch of defenders here, providing ourselves with the kinetic PD that we want to shoot down containers and other big missiles with. Containers and torpedoes are big threats that you need to deal with using defenders. Alternatively, we could try and use the rebound flak turrets, which are smaller and better at dealing with size 2 threats, but I find typically, if I am going to get hit by a bunch of size 2s, that the rebounds that I could take in place of these defenders just don't provide enough flak coverage to, well, deal with an incoming volley of them. Either way, we've got a nice little mixture of modules here, some damage control lockers to quickly fix my guns in case they go down, reinforced magazine, and a Citadel CIC hidden way in the back. Benefit of the Citadel is that it is reinforced, and I have to have 50 damage dealt to it, also reduced by the component DR, so you do 50 divided by 0.8 gives us some number. I think it's like 62 or something. So I need to have 62 damage dealt in a single instance to actually knock my CIC out, meaning that this ship is very hard to actually kill. Same goes for the big drive here, so they need to bring very big guns, specifically 450 millimeters or above, to actually kill me, since there's various math involved with the way Nebulous does damage calculations. This means that my CLs, although you can knock them out of a fight, it's very hard to properly kill them, and you can spend a long time just sitting there shooting at them, wondering why are these things not dead yet. Makes me feel very satisfied when that happens. With that said, I am missing a point here, so I could probably invest in something else. I'm not sure if I could put a missile in here to make it count as armed. I don't think I can, fortunately. Alright, let's see if I can just fit more ammo somewhere. Doesn't look like it. Magazines are already full. Oh well. Again, seeing the lobby is not filling up rather annoyingly, so I'm going to go check and see if there's another lobby open. Maybe we are just missing out on something. There's a party I wasn't invited to. Area official, Nix's Eye. We're going to go for that. So, I'm just going to unpin my message, as it were. Go. Now we're going to go on the OSP side by the looks of it, so let's go ahead and load up a OSP fleet. We're just going to check and see what the rest of the team is. I could play containers again, which is kind of fun, but we've already played containers tonight, so I think I'll go for something else. Go for some broadside 250 action. I think I like the sounds of that. Broadside 250, still Nix is a very big map, so maybe I do want to go for a little bit bigger stuff. Already got some... Alright, we've got a pair of Acellos here. Nasty point defense coverage with their Auroras, and good firepower with their Mark 66 450mm cannons. I think that I will try and go for being the big guns on my team. I could go with the broadside 450, but yes, we will need a couple more shuttles by the looks of it. So broadside 450 it is. We're going to provide early warning radar locks and other goodness. In this case, we've got 1, 2, 3 shuttles, which can just act as little capping vessels. We've got 2 bulk freighters dedicated to throwing all the 450 at people possible. And then we've got a little ship here, our Bloodhound, which has a Bloodhound radar on it. Sometimes you just refer to a ship by its module. In this case, you call it a Bloodhound Tug. It's also got a early warning radar, so I can use the two of them in tandem. One of them is a very large sweeping radar, which has very bad track quality, versus the other, which is a very narrow radar, kind of like a telescope that gives you very good track quality. We're going to try and use the two of them in tandem to get us good target locks so we can throw our 450 at them. And with any luck, our team will try and join in on the fun. Nix's Eye is a large 5 versus 5 map. It's very donut-shaped, as we will see in a moment. And we're going to pick one side to stack up on and then proceed to bring pain to anything in front of us. I suspect I will have to try and play the cap game and keep my 2 shuttles alive, since that is very important in the late game when you want to try and get a back cap on the enemy team. You can wipe most of the enemy team out, but still lose on points, which is very annoying when it happens, but also you have to kind of respect them for it. In this case, given the choice between the D point and the B point, I feel like kind of going... I think I have better coverage on the D point, so we're going to deploy on the left then, trying to find a spot where it will let me. There we are. I have to allow my fleet to warp in like so. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Prairie Bazaar, which is just an empty shuttle, and deploy it there. Going to get one shuttle on the outside here as well. We got a single ship, or actually a pair of ships going towards the E point, so that's good for us. And then I think I can get this ship to go here as well. Perfect. You know what? Actually, we're going to be the A-capper. I will shuttle, if I could spell, the points. Perfect. In this case, I've got shuttles going to each point to cap for my team, and then the rest of my friends' fleets can go ahead and do their own thing. I will be watching the D point here with my radars and big guns, and hopefully nothing will push up on me and overwhelm me. If they do, they're going to have to try and get through all of my nonsense. So, yeah. I like it. Yeah. Just waiting for the Cheese Bandit and Dr. Lemon to ready up. And then we should be good to go. I don't know if we have any missile support. So, missile support is very nice because you can have somebody fire across the entire map and catch the enemy off guard. In the last game we saw on Arroya, I was able to do some devastating damage to my containers from the comfort of 16 kilometers of pathing away. That said, they did end up encroaching upon me, which got a little bit hairy there. So. Planning to cover some jamming, so I like that idea. We're going to go ahead and see what we can do now. 2, 1, Dr. Lemon forgot to ready up. That should be okay. They should be forced to deploy. See my bulk freighters coming in now. Big old engines firing as they hit their retro burn. See a couple enemy flares over there as well. We'll have to quickly reorient ourselves and get onto the points. Oh, you can see my little Catboy face on there. How nice. Alright, so we're going to orient the Ulster Falls facing this direction and move it over here. I'm going to move the Crimson Gardens. I'm going to issue a couple orders very quick, ordering my ships to loose their formations. They're not going to be too worried about keeping tabs on each other. Next, going to just order early morning radars and heading to be set towards the enemy. Also set the various radars to fire now. Have to manually order that, unlike the omnidirectional radars. Going to just send you off into the midfield since you're just going to go full speed on it. Get you as my kind of outside capper just for the technicality of saying, yes, we did go to this point. They can't just ignore it and safely capture it. There we are. You've got your route planned. And lastly, for you, you're my little rocket shuttle that is going to go forwards and hopefully capture the point. If they have neglected to set up any fleets in front of me, I will be happy to rotate to the midsection, the A point.
Heading there now, Commander.
I think I need to change my angles a little bit here. There we go. Just going to set my firing orders. You can see the early warning radar on the bottom there illuminates this big blue cone, and the smaller blue cone inside of that is the Bloodhound, which is the good track quality area. See my ships coming about now. I'm going to, with them holding fire, I'm going to issue a fire order over here-ish, because that is about where the enemy is. I don't know what that ship is yet, but we're going to find out. Going to do my cheeky tomfoolery, as it were. How many decoys do I have? I have quite a few decoys. Okay, good to know. We're going to fire some decoys off here to make it look like we are just a large fleet pushing this point.
Solution locked in.
Just going to swap between my two ships here. I want to space my decoys a little bit apart so that they are not... Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. 9040BB. Just going to call that out real quick. So we're just going to preemptively load AP rounds on that, because we will need to eventually deal with that.
Orders, Commander.
Either way, we are in position to do our stuff and moving ourselves up. Firing our decoys. Hope that we will not hit those. Gonna move myself a little bit lower. No!
Take us in.
Okay, we're good. Whew. Thought I might hit my own decoy, which would make me feel very silly.
Helm, take us in.
I say sometimes the 250 SLO. They're not great, but they're not terrible either, so... I've seen them do some work, so can't completely write them off. Alright, in this case, the Cheese Bandit's going to get there first, so we're just going to hide our shuttle up top here, I think. There we are.
We're underway.
Got our rocket shuttle moving on to the point in a second, and our other one as well.
Ready.
Solomon trying to maneuver itself. It's deployed very far on the outside, and it's not moving any closer towards me, so interesting.
Send traffic.
Keep the guns zero towards it. Because it is moving off, I'm going to assume that it doesn't want anything to do with me. So I'm going to switch back to loading HE, assuming that there's going to be closer enemies with a softer armor.
At the ready, Commander.
Let's see. It is currently the only enemy we see. We've not done an early warning sweep across here, so I might want to do that. I'm tempted to actually go up here, because I have a suspicion that the enemy is going to be pushing down the mid lane. I don't know why, but I just kind of feel it.
For you, Commander?
See, so they don't currently have any tracks on us on the A point, which is good.
Standing by.
If they can't see you, they hopefully can't shoot you.
Securing
I'm
zone
just going to go with that presumption and see if we can't make this work. Gonna order a bit of evasive maneuvering there. A little bit of pathing. Got our ships ready here.
Receiving.
In this case, we see our 2 decoys moving forwards. The enemy saw 2 large flares. They suspect us, so that's what we're going to be going with. I think I'm going to try and go up here,
Aye, aye.
because if I go up, I'll be able to launch decoys over the top and make them think that I'm doing a weird push there.
Send your
And they will,
traffic.
again, be fooled and hopefully not run towards me. So I want to keep them at arm's length. Ideally, I engage at the maximum range of my C-65 cannons,
Send traffic.
which, as we see here, is about, flashing in red there, you can see it's 11 kilometers or so. That is ideally our engagement range.
Aye, aye. Proceeding.
Not that we're going to get that every time. We're better against the ANS when we are in the 11 to 9 kilometer range, because once they hit 9 kilometers, they're able to lock us with their bullseye radars, which are very good at fixing targets. So that would mean that we'd be at a bit of a disadvantage compared to the range and accuracy bonus we get from engaging past that. You see a pair of Acellos here. These missiles should do nothing, I think, wherever they went. They might have actually ran into the rock. That's silly of them.
Stand
Or they got
by.
shot down. I missed it either way.
Send
So,
traffic.
well, they don't call them hiddles. All right. Let's take a little look-see. So, again, not seeing anything on these points,
Receiving.
which is concerning in some ways, but reassuring in others. Tempted to throw this little Corvette out and just use it as a scout, because I don't know where the enemy is right now. I've got intel on the D point, but nothing else, so I am just going to order my tug to go up over here and check this angle. Because if you don't see them, it means that they're doing something sneaky. I'm going to also adjust my ghost fire order so that I've got them facing kind of more towards the middle. This is the best way to make your bulk freighters pre-aim at a target, ordering them to hold fire and then adjust your aim accordingly. Yeah.
Course laid in.
Hoppa.
We have
Receiving.
secured zone dagger.
We're just going to move you up to about here, I think, where I can quickly pull you if I needed. I really don't know where the enemy team is, and that is starting to concern me a lot.
Awaiting orders.
Hopefully, when I crest over this rock, I'll be able to get some radar intel, but
Moving.
not exactly got my fingers crossed for it. Oop. See, now the outward branch has been spotted by something up here. Not sure by what, though. Probably an enemy over this direction somewhere. You can see a couple of missiles coming up here, just regular size 2. Ooh, ARADs. Interesting. Gonna
What can we do for you,
preemptively turn off our
Commander?
radar there.
Reporting.
And, ooh, that is not good.
Aye, aye.
Okay, full speed ahead, because we are being shot at. And take evasive action.
Course laid in.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the enemy has spotted us here, so we're just going to need to mark them. There we are.
Ready.
They are locking on.
All right, you see that
Sniper
battleship
right,
come
sniper
towards us?
inbound.
Oop,
At the ready, Commander.
okay.
On the way,
We have
Commander.
fooled the enemy battleship
Force
into
laid
thinking
in.
that we are engaging there, and it is now moving out of position. We're going to load ourselves with our
Opponent
armor-piercing
set
rounds.
outside of
Oop,
our range.
okay, that is not good. Those are missiles. Ouch.
Aye, aye,
Dang it.
full burn. Signing off.
So,
Send traffic.
all right. So in that case, unfortunately, we did end up losing our
Moving.
what do you call it? Rocket shuttle. But luckily, this one is still
Missiles on the
active.
scope.
So I'm just gonna tuck it down behind here.
Aye, aye, Commander. We're moving. Send your traffic.
I'm gonna throw some more decoys out now, since it worked so well the first time. Make them think
Solution
twice,
locked in.
or think once.
Aye, aye, Commander.
All right.
Firing
Our
missile.
drive's malfunctioning, Commander.
Load this up. Oop.
Negative.
Unfortunately, our rocket shuttle is getting booped a bit here, so we need to keep that drive active.
Standing by, Commander.
Try and tuck
Negative,
you
we
into
can't move.
cover. All right, so luckily it's still gonna drift. That's fine by me.
Our drive's back online.
There we go.
Get
Hey,
it
they
done.
fixed it. Excellent.
Send it.
Now we just need to get them into cover.
On the move.
Not out of cover, you fool.
Receiving.
Brain isn't adapted to 4D chess. Yeah, 4D chess in this game specifically, it's you've got the full like 3 degrees of freedom kind of deal, or 6 degrees of freedom, whatever you call it. Yeah, 3D space. FTL has the pause system. Yep. Part of what I like about Nebulous is that it is done in real time, so you have to be quick on the ball, and I will try to explain what I'm doing here, but it is also a bit of a complicated game. It's one of those things that's very interesting because against other players, you know that they're having to juggle just as many balls as you are, so you can get some very interesting gameplay moments. In this case, I'm taxing the enemy by having a bunch of decoy ships around the place, so they're not going to know which one is real and which one is fake. Order you to jump up and down because I don't feel like manually adjusting your heading. Quickly peek you out here and then back, see if there's anything coming out. All right, we see there's a
Send traffic.
signal that 6996 Axford. Oop, if I could spell. Sadly, I failed wizard school apparently, so I cannot spell. Or maybe I just got a case of Rincewind going on. That could be. Either way, I'm gonna set up our Ghost Fire order again. And a little further than that, actually. I have not seen that battleship again, which is now a tiny bit concerning. Tell you what, we're going to play the bold move here. As they say, fortune favors the bold. Personally, I prefer fortune favors the italic.
Understood. We're en route.
Send traffic.
We're going to send over our A capper there, which I just named because that's basically what its job is. It caps the A point, and then it dies. Sometimes worth it. Usually not, but sometimes you can force your enemy. Depending who has the initiative or not, we can make things happen here. Oh, here we see our decoys once again working upon the enemy. They've been fooled into firing on them, thinking that it is real, revealing more about them than they would like. So we're going to quickly adjust our radars here. We should see the enemy any second now.
We're ready when you are.
As we are in radar range, and there they are. Ah, that's a little too close for comfort, actually. So we want to move backwards now immediately because we are currently within that 9-kilometer locking range, and they are going to use that. So we're going to order them to burn flank. Now that we have the target here, they're going to assume that we are...
They have a target
Oh,
on us.
never mind. They know we are real. Okay, all guns, fire. Gonna quickly retreat back here, trying to get out of the 9-kilometer lock range that they have on us. So we'll hopefully get there.
Commander, they've opened fire. Standing
Actually,
by.
it's a little further than that, 9.5. This should have a parallax radar, which can reach that far. That said, I am doing pretty good damage here as I pepper them with fire. We are taking a couple hits ourselves, so we can't write off the engagement. But so we have gotten ourselves a good hit here. We're just going to quickly retreat backwards, gaining altitude as well. Trying to break away from them. They probably have a escort with them that's providing that lock. So since our guns fire in bursts and theirs do not, we are just going to retreat back now.
Standing by.
Moving at flank speed. There we go.
Send traffic.
Now that we've gotten ourselves away from them, gonna move back again. Gonna order this thing to keep its heading facing forwards. Oh, hey Meg, nice to see you. We are doing nebulous things. If your brain hurts from watching this, don't worry, mine does too.
Send traffic.
Alright, gonna issue hold fire order just so we can get ourselves back into position. That battleship is warded off for the moment. Let's fire another set of decoys towards it just to really confuse it. Because, you know, if they're confused, then they don't know what they're doing. And I don't know what I'm doing better than they don't know what they're doing, so there. Just gonna keep out of this thing's line of sight for a moment. Duty calls and your work break is over. Ah, well, it was great of you to check in. Oh, wow, they really are set on trying to get us there. It's kind of funny. All right, so more decoys fired off here.
Send traffic.
Just any second now, they will launch. There we go.
Receiving.
I'm gonna set my headings again, like so. Then, ideally, drop down and fire. Nya. All right, let's see. So, unfortunately, they are still in range. We just need to keep retreating here. I'm going to let them take the point, as it were, because that puts them in a position where they are very shootable. And I'm perfectly happy about that.
Gotcha, 5 by 5.
I'm going to adjust your heading here so that you are able to rocket strike them in a second. Not that rockets do much against a battleship, but it still is something for them to worry about. I could probably pick off one of their escorts as well. All right. Let's see. Full burn flank because we are not shooting at them, and we need all the firing time we can get.
How can we help today, Commander?
You are adjusting your heading. Excellent. I'm gonna have you pop up in a second.
Receiving. Eyes on target.
There we go. They are now distracted, firing at other ships, which is good for us. As soon as we get both of them locked on, we'll be able to fire. So I'm gonna issue that fire order now and go from there. Just gonna change my angling a little bit on my fleet formation. Oh, Shift F. Select your guide as this one. There we are.
Copy that.
Perfect.
Forming up.
And then you can change here.
Standing by. Incoming.
You're actually going to move over this away.
We're underway.
Set your heading as well manually, and just keep this fleet kind of doing its thing. Oh, my orders are getting a little bit muddy. Okay, you need to rapidly gain altitude.
Aye, Commander.
Oh, missiles.
All hands, abandoned ship.
Dang it.
At the
I've
ready,
got missile.
Commander.
Okay. Well, I don't see anything with this Solomon, and it's just going to hug the rock, which is fine by me.
Standing by.
Just going to keep getting myself some distance here.
Aye,
Distance
Commander.
is the name of the game, and we are doing it well. So, keeping the Bloodhound radar facing the right direction.
Receiving.
I don't want to get too close to this thing on the off chance that it is, in fact, a battleship with a beam, because a beam turret would be very bad news for me. All right, we're going to issue a holding fire order and then ghost our fire orders like so.
Solution locked
Also
in.
reload all the guns. There we
Standing
are.
by.
Said reload all weapons, please. Thank you.
Reporting. Standing by. On it.
Firing a single shot. There we go. Reload your guns, please, and thank you. Want everything to be fully loaded for whenever we next see that ship.
Course laid in.
See, the game is getting a little bit laggy as a massive amount of containers are flying out now. So let's just go ahead and... Actually, I don't want to peek you right now, but I can give you a good marker. 40 BB on E-sword. There we go. This is why I kept this thing close, because this way I have the ability to see the enemy, even when I probably shouldn't. Yep, we can see they are a full 450 battleship, so we're able to take that in a fight decently. Oop. Wow, the map tool is really freaking out right now.
On it.
I think my computer is struggling a little bit to calculate all the missiles on the size of a map like Nyx. Oh, unfortunately, these missiles are running out of fuel here, so... I believe that or they're getting shot down. I think they also might be getting shot down, so... In case the battleship is presenting a broadside towards us, so we are going to quickly use that to our advantage. Trying to position ourselves to shoot through this rock.
Solution locked in.
It's not exactly where it is, but it's close enough.
Standing by.
Alright, let's just dive, dive, dive.
Moving to that position.
Helm,
There we
take us in.
Adjusting our formation once
Forming
again.
up, Commander.
Now then, let us see if we can actually get a lock on this thing or not. So we're about to enter a 450 brawl, which is going to be a little interesting. Hello, whatever you are.
We'll get it done.
I don't actually know what you are, which is concerning. Where is that
Got you
battleship?
5x5.
There you are. Just gonna signal another attack order to keep this thing in my sight.
Send
There
traffic.
we are.
The enemy is
Solution
securing
locked
zone
in.
eclipse.
So they are unfortunately capturing Zone Dagger here, but that is fine, because we are going to get them in a second. See, they have a early warning radar frigate there, but I don't actually have anything to really deal with that right now,
Go ahead, Commander.
except for my rocket ship, which I will get in a second.
Send traffic.
Lock you onto the C points, please. Thank you.
Solution locked in.
All right, let's see if we can't get a good hit on them.
Commander.
I can see their battleship.
Go ahead,
Can their
Commander.
battleship see me? No, it cannot.
Receiving.
Warning. Enemy lock
Solution locked
detected.
in.
All right, you are locked. Fire everything.
Course laid in.
Bam, bam, bam.
Standing by.
Nope.
Standing by.
Okay,
Warning.
maybe not.
Module lost.
Try the ghost order again, just kind of over that away.
Solution locked
The
in.
enemy secured zone eclipse.
All right, is that it?
At the ready.
That is not it.
Opponent
Okay.
lost.
Right, screw it. We are just going to break out our rocket shuttle right now to make them sweat.
Copy that. Moving.
And yeah, we can lock onto that shaft cloud for a little while longer. It doesn't hurt us. Keep this going here.
Solution locked in.
Said I do want you to go away,
Yeah,
so
we
we're going to dedicate number 2 to that, and number 3 is going to be over.
Understood. We're
What the
en
heck?
route.
What hit us?
Standing by.
Oh dear. Well, that's rather annoying. We might need some of that.
What can we do for you, Commander? Copy. Opening fire.
You can see the battleship here moving forth. We're going to move our fleet up as well.
Send your traffic.
In case if they want to try and use 450 on a rocket shuttle, well, they're going to end up with a bit of pain for it. Just going to try and get my ships to go where I want them now.
Aye, aye.
Yeah.
Full power.
Awkward. Or
Solution
approved for
locked
target. Fire for
We're ready
effect.
when you are. Initiating target lock.
Hmm.
They've got us
Squiggle
dialed
you.
in, Commander. We're moving.
Let's see. Are you going to shoot me? You are going to try. Okay.
How can we help today, Commander?
Well,
On the way.
you're welcome to
Commander.
attempt it.
Receiving. We're on our way.
We're seeing our 450 HE shots flying into this range. Once this thing is hit hard enough, we will be lost on radar track.
Module repairs are finished.
So, there we go. This thing trying its best.
Aye, aye, Commander. We're moving.
I'm just going to order ship to go around
Aye,
here,
aye.
just janking
Full
my
power.
hitbox back and forth.
Reporting.
See, this thing's still annoyingly alive, but these missiles... Oh, those are missiles going around the wrong way, so that's all right.
Our drive's malfunctioning.
Ah, dang it.
Aye, aye.
Unfortunately, the
Abandoned
enemy
ship.
has managed to get us there. We'll have to engage as best we can.
Initiating attack.
How did we lose that track? That's very odd. It is actually quite odd. How the heck did we lose that? Huh.
Eyes on target.
I guess.
Course
Okay.
laid.
Target
Well,
lock
we have a target.
initiated.
Fire for effect.
Moving out, Commander.
I really don't know how I managed to lose
Enemy
that
lock
frigate,
detected.
which should be right there. Hmm.
Course laid.
Most peculiar. We're just gonna try and go with it, though.
Solution locked in.
Actually, sweep the early warning radar over.
Executing your orders.
Did it just...
We're taking fire.
Where the heck did it go? What the hell?
Aye, Commander.
Where did...
Roger that.
I got another one up there. Okay.
Awaiting orders.
Well,
Commander.
either way then, we're just going to change targets onto what we can actually see. So,
Aye, aye. Full burn.
cool as it were. Nuts. Keep losing this thing's lock, so means I have to do some jank firing commands. My
Understood.
bulk freighters don't
Engaging
roll
the
a really
enemy.
weird way. Yeah. There, yes.
We can't
Good.
shoot that far.
I'm aware you can't shoot that far, but you can try.
Acknowledged.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So I really don't know where the enemy flew.
Executing your orders.
Okay, that's not
Fire
good.
over here.
Everyone cancel your radars in case those are ARADs, because that would be
Standing by.
pain. Ow. Alright, those are not crippling, but they are not feeling good, to say the least. Okay, CIC and damage control locker is damaged, but alright. Just need to prioritize what I want to actually fix here. Gun plotting CIC, large locker, please. Thank you.
Receiving.
Just go and put you two in formation and then move from there.
Yeah, we see them.
Right, you're going to come down as well. I don't know where that frigate went, which is really weird because I was just shooting at it. Anyways, the battleship should be here somewhere, I think. Can't have gone far.
Reporting.
I'm going to aim upwards, like
We've got
there-ish,
'em now.
assuming it's kind of gone off. I've got a little bit of play with my guns that can swing horizontally, but do I need the PD Grazer? You know what? It can't hurt considering we just got missiled, so. Gun plotting center, it's liable to just get knocked out in the upcoming 450 fight.
Awaiting orders.
This
Commander.
will get me extra firepower, but I am very low on restores, so there it is.
Reporting.
They're locking
Standing
onto
by.
us.
I see you now.
Commander. The enemy has engaged.
Eyes on target.
Now, why I cannot see them, I don't know. But,
Awaiting orders.
like, actually, though,
Commander.
why can't I see you?
Dialing in,
Now I can.
Commander.
Eyes on target.
Fire. Oh, I have my radars off.
Module
How silly of me.
Reporting.
Bam, 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 bam.
We are
Standing
securing
by.
zone eclipse.
Helm, take us in.
Hello there. Bam, bam. This is going to be quite the 450 fight.
Moving.
In order you to keep a lock on it. So this is just us engaging with a battleship at point-blank range. Luckily, it does not have a beam backpack. Otherwise, we'd be very much in a pickle. In case we really need to keep our stuff alive. Our magazine, I believe, got...
Awaiting
No?
orders, Commander.
Why can't you fire?
No can do.
Oh, you're out of power, that's why.
Reporting.
I was wondering about that.
Receiving.
Send traffic.
Alright, you're gonna fire all the high explosive you
Eyes
can.
on target.
You as well. Thank you.
Negative, Commander.
Reload your guns, please.
Receiving.
Alright.
On it.
So, things are now getting interesting. I got my reactors hit there, which kind of sucks.
We're ready when you are,
I've been thinking
Commander.
about adding a redundant reactor to these because they are
Stand
getting a
by.
little bit dangerous in this case.
Send traffic.
We are securing
Trying to come about for a broadside, although we did a good number on it, just as it
What
did
can
to
we
us.
do for you,
So,
Commander? We have
in case
power
we're about to
again.
fire another big volley
Got
into
it.
it. There's that Rains
Okay,
that I've been looking at before. Wonder where he went.
Standing
Enemy
by.
fire inbound.
Alright, guns are back operational, so we can get more
Understood.
450
We're
into
en
this
route.
thing's broadside and backside as this goes.
Send
Getting behind
traffic.
it is actually doing us pretty good, so we're going to keep
On
at
it.
that. It's overcommitted itself because it had the mass too. And we're just going to put all the 450 rounds into this thing that are possible.
dagger.
And hopefully it explodes.
Awaiting
Yeah.
orders, Commander.
Hopefully.
Reporting.
Oh, looks like Cheese Bandit bit it from something.
Component lost.
I don't know what Cheese bit it from.
Standing
I've got my
by.
own problems to worry about right now, though. Let's see. DC lockers, they're good. Yep, container launchers. I don't need anything
Standing
fixed
by.
here. Although, nah, it's okay.
Receiving. Component lost. Aye aye. Full
Just gonna
bearing.
quickly adjust ourselves and go and
Moving
dive
out,
in again.
Commander.
We have
Fire!
secured
We're
zone
ready when you are, Commander.
Apparently I am too close because my guns are getting
Component
masked.
damage.
Uh-oh.
CCT.
Yep, I need to repair those boosted reactors and this locker. There we go.
Awaiting orders.
Just gonna order the firing of everything we got. Bam, 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 bam. See, the hull is bearing, which means that we're just a little too close to get a good
Aye, aye,
angle.
Commander. Moving out.
Component destroyed.
So in this case, we're taking heavy fire. Just have to make out of here. We have 2 CICs, so this should be fine.
Report in.
I say should, as in we might end up losing some more stuff here, but
Standing by for
we will
orders.
see.
We're ready when you are.
Firing all that.
Multiple decks.
Guns are good to go. Keep you
Aye,
here,
Commander.
and then you can go here.
Power
We're gonna
is
send
offline.
our shuttle,
Reporting in.
or not our shuttle, our tug in. There we go. Engine's offline. No, that's not good.
Status.
We need to get everything fixed, including the magazine, which will take a little
They
bit.
are chewing us up here.
Nah. We might lose a bulk freighter here because those guns are not silencing.
Receiving.
Fire everything you got, please. You are, yeah, you're still good. Just keep
Receiving
shooting.
fires on multiple
Bam, bam, bam,
decks.
bam. I
Receiving.
have a broadside at the very least, so
We're
I can
starting to
get
fall apart
pretty
here,
good.
man.
Moving out,
With any luck,
Commander.
these containers will come in at just the right moment. It's gonna miss probably.
Back online, we're reading.
All right.
Send your traffic.
It's the downside of trying to brawl with a fleet like this. Gets a little bit spicy. So we're turning 1 restore into 2 by restoring our large DC locker and getting our magazine and drive back online.
Receiving.
This ship is going to keep firing as they continue to try and pound our other one.
Standing by.
We'll be moving up here a little bit, trying to use our range
Moving
advantage.
out, Commander.
See these containers coming in, although they are not on the right target path and also far too late in their staging. So they're just going to end up being wasted.
Receiving.
We're going to see if we can't zombie this thing back into existence. I've got 2 restores left, and then that's it. So if anything goes down, it goes down. Luckily, I am trading 450 shots here, although a bunch of them are hitting it on the nose where I really don't want them
We're
to.
ready when you are, Commander.
Sad randomness of gunnery. Unfortunately, we appear to have lost 1 player. So still, we are up on the points, which is good for us.
Course laid in.
My tug here has a singular missile, which means it is enough to contest, and he's not wasting any shots on me, so I'm going to take that.
Component repaired.
We're ready when you are, Commander. We're underway, Commander.
Battleship has to bring itself around, so I'm not going to let it do that. I'm going to dive this way, so that way I keep the broadside going. And as soon as I can get a shot, I will. Almost have that drive back online. And we have the magazine as well, so
Awaiting orders.
this will be a nasty surprise for them.
Cannot
Commander,
comply.
we've opened
Engines
fire.
offline. Negative, command. We cannot do that. Eyes on.
Oh, did I lose my reactor again? I did lose my reactor again. Okay, well, that's a little unfortunate.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
Luckily, we should be able to get this
Aye aye. Proceeding.
like so. Order you to go
Aye
here.
aye, Commander.
Order you to aim like this. Over there.
Negative. Too far.
That way I can hopefully just turn you this way. Yeah.
On it.
A little bit spicy.
Aye, aye, Commander.
The
Moving out.
wrong variety.
Initiating target
Yeah, this is a
launch.
problem when you try and brawl a battleship with ships meant to stand off and use their extra range. You discover very quickly that armor does in fact exist for a reason, and it is quite good on the battleship. Even though our 450 kind of just punches through either way. Alright. What are
Component
you?
Eyes on.
lost.
Just keep going here.
Moving out,
Set yourself evasive and flank speed. Just try and dodge as best you can.
Reporting.
As for you, you are now in range. You're going to lock on and give it all you
Warning,
got.
Component disabled.
Yeah, I'm getting broadsided here, which hurts.
A
Ow.
module was destroyed.
Really need this power back online.
We're ready.
And
Component
you're good to
repairs
go. Fire,
standard.
fire, fire.
Engaging now. Ship is back to full power.
Send traffic.
Now we've got him sandwiched, which is good. You can only fire one direction.
Enemy is securing zone
Aha.
access.
Standing by.
There we are.
Moving to that position.
Handily outnumbering the enemy here, although this battleship is still a battleship. And, well, yeah. It's firing its belly gun on one of us and the top gun's on the other. So I'm going to try and roll it as best I
Forces
can.
laid in.
Like so.
On it.
Keep you going around here.
Received. Repositioning.
Fire all the guns that we have. Why are you not firing? Why are you not firing?
Standing by.
We're still low on
Commander.
power or something.
We're taking fire over here.
Magazine is good.
Receiving.
Oh, that's strange. You should be firing.
Copy.
Um,
Engaging now.
Ceasefire and refire?
Target
Why
acquired.
are you not firing? Strange. Oh, there it goes. Just took them a minute to figure out how to fire a gun, I guess.
Understood. We're en route.
Anyways.
Cannot comply. Engines
Crap.
offline.
Drive is hit again. If that thing goes down, then we will not have the ability to move, so that turns us into a fixed gun emplacement, which is not very ideal given the circumstance. I'm going to limp you away, getting better firing angles. We are still putting rounds into it. You can see it taking its own fair share of damages. That said, they have far more DC teams than I do. I think they have like 20 teams inside a battleship or something, so
Awaiting orders.
gonna have to just deal with that. That said, a bunch of its guns appear to be not firing. I may have hit the magazine. All right, so
What
both
can
of
we
us
do
are
for you,
equally screwed in the
Commander?
moment, which is good
Received.
for me anyways. See them, yeah, blue team coming in with a lot of points. I believe that is us, actually. Yeah, that is friendly, so see one of them tapping out. Was that? I don't know whose ship this is, but I do know that I'm putting shots into it, so. One of the enemies, I think that was Daka. Yeah, Daka has surrendered and we lost one, so it's a 4v4. We're still in the game, and yeah.
Reporting.
All right, just barely can make it out of here.
Cannot comply. Engines offline.
All right, you're good still, and you're good still. Guns and stuff.
Awaiting
Yep,
orders.
you're just bearing to target because you're too close. As is tradition.
Negative.
Still,
Cannot
now we
maneuver.
get some shots in.
Standing by.
I keep pounding this thing with all of the 450 that I got. Oh, I think it might be dead? Question mark? The drifting? I think it's dead.
We're ready when you
We're gonna
are,
fire until we see
Commander.
life pods. There we go, we see life pods. All right, everyone hold fire. It is dead. Excellent. We killed the battleship. Huzzah!
Awaiting orders, Commander. We're underway, Commander.
All right, so now we
What
need
can
to
we do
figure
for
out
you,
what else we
Commander?
want to shoot this game. I think that we're just gonna need to get our guns towards the A point. We'll just order that
Apologies, Commander. We need to be closer. for
and
that.
then go from there. Game's almost over.
Eyes on.
Gotta
Moving to that
get
position.
somewhere good now.
Course laid in.
All right. Lock
Aye,
you with
Commander.
everything we got.
Roger that.
Actually, I might be able to hit that.
We
Yeah,
have
try.
it now.
Orient yourselves in a way that gets you a firing solution. Yes.
Moving out, Commander.
You, your drive is down. Dang it.
Receiving.
Okay, so they did get one last, little petty thing done.
Send
So
traffic.
unfortunately, you are now a static piece, but that's okay. Just gonna set you to, free fire in case anyone
What can
shoots
we
you.
do for you, Commander?
As for you, you will almost be in range to hit that. So we're gonna
Cannot
give
comply,
a orbit
Commander.
command to get you
Target is
directly
out of
towards them
range. Aye, aye,
and tell you to
Commander.
burn the
Moving out.
Standing
good
by.
thrusters. You know, should be a pretty quick win here in a second. We have 956 points, so just a little bit more and we're done. Come on. Almost in gun range. Gonna tell them to fire the millisecond that they get in range. Don't think I can really buff anything else here. I guess I could get the rapid cycle cradle. The gun plotting center might actually help now. Order the immediate repairs there.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
Then any second now we'll be in range. Perfect, we're in range. Fire, fire, fire.
Ready.
Pew, pew.
We are securing zone access.
See them tapping out now as we are about to cap out. This one voxel eating our limited 450 fire we're able to provide. That was a hairy fight with that battleship. Oof. Yeah, 250 voxel with a VLS-2 backpack. Nice little loadout there. It's got a mixture of rebounds and defenders by the looks, so
What can we do for you, Commander?
bit of both. And that'll be the battle, folks. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to call stream, because I have got in some good Nebulous hours today, and I think that a friend of mine might be coming online soon, so we will check on that. Give me one moment, please. Okay, well, the update is I'm going to keep nebbing because scheduling conflicts occurred, so I'm able to keep playing. Let's take a look at how we did here. So we got decent damage dealt across these. You can see the battleship I was going up against. Not much left of it there, so that was a good fight. We are going to keep at our stuff. Yeah. Just going to go ahead and run ads now since we have our next block coming up, and then, ideally, we will be able to get ourselves a good game. So, I'm going to go ahead and host a lobby, and anyone who wants to join can join. Actually, 3K44. Let's take a look on this one here, see if it's a good lobby or not. Okay, we just played on Nyx on the OSP side, so we're going to go ahead and queue up for this one. I am going to queue some ads. And then when we come back, there'll be more Nebulous. I will see you all in 3 minutes. Yeah. All right, chat. Ad break is over, and we have gotten into the game here as I get the audio turned back on. So we're on to Nyx again. I think that this time I'm going to go... You know what, actually? Because I played the D point last time, I'm going to play the D point again this time. I'm going to deploy high, like so, along with one low that can just quickly rush to the point. Got my 2 ships here that I'm going to try and brawl against the enemy. I'm going to ask Daka, who I faced last game. We had fisticuffs against Daka's battleship, so we're going to see if they've brought equivalent on the OSP side. So they might have gone broadside 450 liners like I had done last game. Or I keep getting liners and bulks mixed up. Kind of interchangeable, but either way. We're going to deploy on the right side here with our destroyer and our Axford heavy cruiser. Then we've got our little scout ship down here as well, just to cap the point. We're going to see what there is to see and play however we best can. See, our fleet's kind of deploying here across the rest of the map, getting some good ships up high. Probably going to go for the high mount sort of position over top of A, trying to shoot with railguns and such. I don't know exactly what fleets are being brought with us because people didn't show fleets in the starting screen, but that's okay. I'm sure that we can make it work. Waiting on Survivor and Grand to deploy now. Yeah. We are going to attack the D point with all of our force and, well, hopefully get things going. I don't know if I'm going to end up completely screwed and overwhelmed here or not, so you just have to do your best with what you got. I've got missiles and guns on my Axford, and then I've got a little beam destroyer backup, so I should be able to handle anything that comes my way that's not overpowering me in terms of fleet power. That said, I won't be wanting to pick a dedicated fight against a 450 broadside fleet like I brought last time, so we're going to just play around that by taking cover on the rocks. Move ourselves up along here like so, and our destroyer doing the same thing. Keeping them independent, as I have only 2 ships to really micro. It's not too taxing.
On it.
Move you up here, and then
full burn.
angle my heading preemptively towards the D point, assuming that the enemy is going to be around there or so. I have, again, my powerful missiles, the Giant Spanes, which are the ones with the little glitter decoys inserted into them, and then I've got the regular missiles, so I'll be able to do a little bit of yub-nubbage. I feel like that is not the ideal path for me to take. I want to be a bit more direct, so we're going to do that like so and like so. Ta-da! There we are. The D point shall be ours. If I, actually, let's just flip the map over and be smart.
Reporting.
There we go. And I can just quickly position in the most direct path. I think it's just Nyx's eye for some reason that my commands get a little bit laggy on. It's just a very large map, and sometimes with 5v5s, you just have more stuff going around, so the server gets a little bit confused, and the game can hitch sometimes. But not the end of the world. Let's take a look. We have a full 450 fleet here. A little Loki the Rock decal. That's a good anime. It's got some little picket escorts here. 2 Auroras, a blanket jammer, and a VLS-1. Yep, nice little escort. Probably seeing the same on the other side. Yep. So, good little escort here, a bit of point defense power, and also some jamming, allowing this ship to really bring its big guns to bear. That's a lot of Auroras. Like, okay, that's actually a lot of Auroras. Holy crap, there's like 7 Auroras in this fleet. They must be very paranoid about a certain type of missile, which is kind of funny because OSP can't bring hybrids, and that's primarily what the Aurora is for tech against. Anyways, we're seeing a VLS on the backpack here, flat gun, and then some 250s on these CLs. Nice stuff. Of course, I prefer to run 5 guns on my CLs, but that's my preference. Let's see, is this the rail array? Yes, it is. You can see the rail guns in the front here. We've got little 120 guns to back up against small threats. Also some defenders here to ward off the errant container that will try and come by. So, nice little 4 rail array here, designed to try and crit out enemy components. They don't deal much damage, but critical hits inflict debuffs, which are very important. Because a debuff ship is much less effective than one that has fully operational systems, as the name might imply by, debuff. It's hard to measure exactly how effective rails are, because at the end of the game, you'll see they haven't dealt a whole lot of damage, but they are very inconvenient when you're getting shot by them. And it's a great way of suppressing your enemy. So we're seeing just a little swarm here of, I believe these are size 2 sprinters. Interesting. Seeing a lot of VLS-1s on the sides and a VLS-2 on the bottom. Okay. Huh. It's an interesting missile fleet. I've not seen something like that for a while. I'm kind of curious how they're going to go. You see another ship here from the Boki fleet. It's got a VLS-1 and a topside 120 bullseye lock as well. So nice little collection of ships around. And then board here has a Sarissa frigate. These are very annoying to missile players because this thing projects basically an 8 or 9 kilometer radius around it that you just can't fire missiles into. So,
Send traffic.
yeah, you see them commenting about the auroras here and whatnot. Because that's a little
Aye, aye,
excessive
over.
aurorage. All right, what do we got down here? So we see there's an enemy fleet here.
Receiving.
I'm going to fire a test of their defenses, like so. I'm gonna just quickly put you here, here, and then here. So. Right. So we're gonna just go ahead and fire 1, 2, 3 of you, because I'm assuming that is a swarm. Yep, that's bulk freighters after all. Cool.
Send
Very
traffic
cool.
jamming us.
Just try and dive here as best we can. As a liner, so that's rather annoying. There's small ships as well.
Zone eclipse.
2 fleets D-side. In this case,
Component damage DC.
luckily our ships here are doing their job, or rather, our ship is trying to do its best. It's getting heavily shot by stuff. Ooh, that's a Ocello with torpedoes
All
and
hands, all
annoying
hands.
stuff.
Abandoned ship,
What
abandoned
can we do?
ship.
All right, well,
We have secured zone.
we may have to do something about that. In this case, we're testing the enemy's PD with these missiles, which those auroras are probably going to shoot down. So, still not the worst. We got our information for a small sacrifice of 215 points here.
Standing by.
I'm going to stay hidden and just try and do whatever sneaky stuff I can.
Aye, aye. Full burn.
In this case, we're going to see anti-missile missiles coming out, and yep, those auroras just cooking off those. Rather annoying, but what are you going to do?
Receiving.
I'm just going to stay hidden because I think that is the best course of action. Yeah. I could reveal myself and try and pick a fight against 2 fleets, but I don't particularly like those odds. So,
Receiving.
see, we're going to give a beam fire order onto this position here,
Negative.
like so.
That's too
Then we're going to
far.
order it to hold fire. That way we've got the ships heading kind of preset,
Aye, aye, Commander.
roughly where it needs to be anyways.
Aye, aye.
Position
We're
here.
underway, Commander.
Just gonna lurk for a bit. So in this case, we are hiding and lurking. See them still firing on my ship here. Any luck, this will cause the reactor to bloom, which would be very nice. Fortunately, it seems that might not be the case. I would very much like for the reactor to get crit and then explode, making it so that if they try and cap the point, they're going to suffer, but I may not be so lucky.
Zone dagger.
Course laid in.
See them attempt to secure
We're
now.
underway.
I could
Commander.
send very good missiles down there, but I don't have a good idea of where they are, and I feel like that would be a bit of a waste until I'm properly in a fight. Well, now we see one of them.
Receiving.
2 of them. Alright, so that's probably an Ocello, which we saw earlier, and something with small guns, because they had grape shot. I don't know what else they could have, but, well. In this case, I'm going to wait until the rest of the fleet is in position, and then I'll be the flank. That way they have to try and engage the rest of my forces over here. Actually, my allies are moving away from them. That's actually a wise decision. You don't really want to take that much firepower to the nose. Still, we've got some good Axford action going this way. Should see them lock on in a bit.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
And gonna do the old ghost firing trick here, where I project the beam turret there.
Engaging B.
Send
There's
traffic.
that Ocello marking priority. Those are the 2 line ships, apparently. At least I'm pretty sure those are the line ships. So I could try and fire them on the Ocello with my big glitter missiles, but if I don't have anything to fire afterwards, it's just going to be a waste because they'll just repair the modules that I hit. So I'm going to need to wait till they split up. 2965 Ocello as well. I am contributing to my team because I have the intelligence center here, so we're getting good information on the enemy. You can see they've got a trio of clippers here. Probably this is a little fleet of shuttles. We're also seeing them putting some good hits on this Ocello. We're going to mark that as well. That rail array doing its work, just not really killing modules, but definitely taxing their PD and keeping them busy at the moment. Just slowly work down targets. They are diving, which is interesting. They're probably going to try and force us to take the initiative here, as they are up on caps, but I want them to get overly aggressive and push forwards. So I don't think they have us on track right now.
Receiving.
So that could change very quickly. What was that? High targets, that's okay. So,
We're ready when you
in this
are,
case,
Commander.
they are in beaming range, which is quite nice. I have done nasty beam ambushes on this map because most people don't expect you to bring beams. We're going to see if we can't do something similar in a second.
Aye, aye. Proceeding.
Move you lot over this
Moving out,
away,
Commander.
like
We're
so.
underway, Commander.
I spent a lot of time in the tactical
Aye, aye.
view because it gives me the best information available. Okay, so let's see, those bulk freighters. I really want to see when that Ocello splits off from them, because then I can throw a lot of missiles into those bulkers. But I doubt that they will. I'm betting that those two bulk freighters are going to stay really close to this point here and just hold it. But if they're spending 6,000 points just to hold here, then that means that's only 9,000 points on the rest of the map. And because my fleet is here, that means there's 12k worth of points versus 9k on the rest of the map. So overall, we are winning in terms of that. This Ocello is getting its crap pounded. Should see these missile ships here come into support soon.
Send traffic.
We saw a little bit of fire come off there somewhere. Not sure exactly where they are, but we'll find it in a bit.
Send traffic.
All right, gonna just realign my heading.
Acknowledged. On it.
They still do not know I am here, which I am very happy
Understood.
about.
We're
So,
en route.
Receiving.
question is, do I spring my trap now? Kind of want to wait until Grand commits. And if you push E, I will pull off the flank. So, with that we can see them also getting a good shot onto the A point here.
Send traffic.
That's a little far for my missiles to reach, I think.
Send traffic.
Still try it. I'm a little bit under this shelf, as it were, so I need to move back a bit just so my missiles don't do something stupid. Not doing something stupid is something I wish that I was better at. Alright. Ocello is pretty torn up. It's got to be heavily DC taxed. Just needs a kill shot. I could go up there and kill that Ocello, but I think that still patience is the name of the game here. I just want to wait. See, we should have enough missiles across the fleet to handle all the stuff that's going on at A point. So yeah, that's a lot of tugboats, which means they've got plenty of point defense. Actually, it's cargo feeders in there too.
Reporting.
Mark U is a priority. 6772 is a feeder. There we go. Oh dear. Hi.
On it. Command, we are
Hello there.
standing by.
Okay, you are a problem.
Disabled.
Yeah.
Receiving.
How did you find me? I don't like that.
Preparing
Fire
for
everything.
launch.
Order received. Engaging now.
Receiving. Reporting internal damage.
That is a problem. How the heck did you see me up here?
Aye, aye, full burn. Awaiting orders.
Like, actually, though, I almost feel like I've been stream sniped here, because there's no reason for you to come over this way.
Get us moving, Helm.
How did they detect me? I wasn't even detected, actually.
What can we do for you,
The heck?
Aye, aye, Commander. Moving out.
That feels rough.
Aye, aye.
Okay.
Course is laid in. Eyes on.
Get that VLS set back up, please.
Send
And then
traffic.
fire everything we got. Bam, bam.
Reporting. Solution locked in.
Hey, you are weapons free, buddy. Go get them.
Aye, aye.
Moving out, Commander.
You are approved for beam fire,
Copy that.
or you
Holding
could
here.
drunkenly
Standing
miss.
by.
Okay, cool. That works too.
We see them.
Standing by.
Just gonna sit close to this rock. You're approved for battle short.
Aye, aye,
Cook 'em.
Commander.
Good. Good hits. Hit 'em.
We're standing
We're
by.
taking
Yes.
fire, Commander.
Get that VLS fixed, and we'll throw all the missiles we got.
Reporting.
We're gonna cook our beam turret quite a bit here, because I really want to melt this thing, and I'm getting good hits. Right.
Aye, aye, Commander.
You're good. Ceasefire.
Order
Just gonna keep
received.
doing this.
Engaging now.
I need that thing to die in a second, so this should be interesting. Alright.
Missile reserve.
Not too worried about it now, so we're just gonna keep the beam doing its thing, and then go from there.
Eyes on.
Let's see. Yep. You are mostly cooked. Excellent. Those are good missile hits as
Standing
well.
by.
Reporting.
Alright, so now we have the good stuff. Fire everything.
Missile. Missile away.
You're approved for a beamage. Do so.
Standing by.
And
Module
battle short,
lost.
please. Thank you.
Order. We're on our way.
On it.
Keep this thing forwards facing as much as I can.
Component lost.
Missile
Awaiting
Try
away.
and
orders.
cook this thing as
Acknowledged.
best we can. That one's pretty
Commander,
cooked.
we
Alright.
lost a module.
Fortunately, our destroyer is not long for this world. It is very
Orders,
much damaged.
Commander.
Gonna try and fire what we got. Yep, it is all out of ammunition and stuff, so we're just gonna fire what we got.
Aye, aye.
Hit him.
Send traffic.
I'm still curious how they managed to find out I was up here, but
Send it, Commander.
you know what? Weirder things have happened. We're just going to go with it, trying to provide
Understood.
radar
On
lock
our
here.
way.
They're firing a couple missiles, which are anti-missile missiles. That's okay. My hybrids should be able to get through some of that, I think. They're
Send
really
traffic.
sending a lot. Okay, wow, cool.
Course laid in. Send traffic.
Just keep firing all the HE rounds you can.
Affirmative.
We need to get out of here, I think.
Orders, Commander.
Gonna move you over here so I can get crossfix, and hopefully they waste shots on me. Go.
Send traffic.
Bam, 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 bam. Right, so we were kind of screwed there for a minute,
Orders, Commander.
but we're kind of holding on. So our destroyer, unfortunately, very much a glass cannon. Our CSE survived barely, which, well, I'm very impressed by, honestly. So this thing is still firing at us. That is rather rude. Fire more,
Launch confirmed.
because this VLS might not live long.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Full burn.
Fire everything, please, and thank you.
Aye, aye.
You could. Not sure why the bottom gun was masked there for a second, but it was.
Launch confirmed. Missiles.
Fire the last of the missiles onto it. Zoop, zoop, zoop. You should be almost dead. Let's just rotate your guns onto that. Hopefully knock it out. Alright. Come on, stage, please. And thank you. Pop. And zoom. Oh, right into the anti-missiles. Wow, they fire a lot of anti-missiles. Luckily, hybrids are fast. Bam.
Send traffic.
This will be the last missile going into their shuttle with any luck. Trying to knock out the guns on this one again. We rotate abouts here.
Awaiting orders. Course plotted.
Yep. See, trying to do stuff here, although their guns are sadly
what to
out,
do,
so
Commander.
that's a bit of a pain. We can see there's enemy fleet down below there. I'm still really curious how they knew I was over here. I don't like that, because there should have been no indicators that there's a fleet here, but they still just decided to zoom and push up here. Maybe it was just unlucky, but
Send
Still.
traffic.
oh well,
Understood.
no sense dwelling on it. We are kind of winning our fight here. These bulk freighters are heavily damaged, although we are missing quite a few of our shots.
Send traffic.
We're just going to try and get closer, I think.
Aye, aye.
Yeah.
Full burn.
So the closer we are, the harder it is for their guns to all bear onto target.
Component damage. Awaiting
We've
orders.
fired all of our missiles, which means that we don't have to worry about repairing them anymore. Our gun plotting center is out, but if I was to repair that, we're probably just going to lose it again, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to keep trying to fire all of my guns onto this thing and keep its turrets silenced. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4 guns are out. Okay, actually, we're going to try and fire on this one because it appears to have a functional turret. At least one. And maybe 2. Either way, just rotate our fire order. I did not hit that shuttle, annoyingly. It's just a little kinetic PE shuttle, just to make it so torpedoes don't hit you. Oop, that's a problem
Send
there.
traffic.
So, that fleet is coming at us. I'm winning my fight here, so I need to push the advantage while I can. Set engines ahead full and just see what we can get done here. Our friendly fleet down over here. Yeah, we're seeing the downpour is getting heavily smacked here. That they definitely need to rotate their fire target. I'm not sure what they're shooting at right now. They're dealing with electronic warfare and having to roll.
Send
All right.
traffic.
We have
Well,
secured
either way,
zones
we are
close.
engaging this fleet and not letting them get away.
Take us in.
Should be able to get onto the point with this, I think. If I maneuver right.
We're on our way.
Okay, we'll have to jank it a little bit, but that's all right. We can do a little bit of ship jankage. There we go. That looks fine.
Positioning.
Okay, now we're just going to keep up the nebulous nonsense, going bam, 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 bam on this bulk freighter. I don't think this one is active yet. Yes.
Send
Okay, I think
traffic.
these are both dead then. Yeah, okay, this fleet is dead. Excellent. Now I can rotate down
Understood.
and fight against you.
Send traffic.
So we are going to do exactly that now, because we need to
Got it.
help out our teammate. So there. That one is killed, and that one should be killed as well. Perfect.
Receiving.
I'm gonna lock the Ocello, and that should be that. Yeah. See, they tapped out and surrendered, which is their little
Send traffic.
space oil plumes there. Actually, you know what? Go this way, because
Aye,
that
aye.
makes
Full burn.
more sense with your thruster anglings. Just tell him this. Brand on my way to help. Yeah.
Reporting.
So, They thought they had the jump on me, but I had the jump on them, and a big old missile backpack to thank for. Oh, they shot me in the face! The jerks! They shot me in the face! The nerve of them! I don't believe it. Can't have shit in the battle space.
Aye, aye. Full burn.
All right. We are going to look. That is torpedoes being launched, but luckily, Grand has a counter called 7 Auroras, which is excessive on a good day. Ridiculous on a bad. We're just going to fire on that Ocello, because that's the best thing our guns can hit. These tugs are... They're a bit of a threat, but their little casemate 250 doesn't worry as much as these big 450 guns do. So, in a second, we're about to come around this corner and reintroduce them to the meaning of pain. Dive, dive, dive.
Force laid in.
See our main thrusters kicking off here, getting us the best possible power output. Come on, buddy. Changing our heading as well, trying to align to best hit target. There we go. And now, bam, 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 bam. We can turn off our flank thrusters since we are in range. Just move on to the D point as well, or around it anyways. You know, actually, I'm going to maneuver behind them now and start adjusting my heading once more.
Understood.
So this way, I can be able to shoot the Ocello in the backside and then knock out its drives.
We have secured zone 10.
There we are. Now that we've got the D point, our little friendly fleet will be able to hold it here.
Standing by.
We've got the Pygmy doing its job as best as I can.
We're en route.
And we're going to just see how much damage we can deal to an Ocello. Yeah. Daka daka, daka daka. So, seeing our 450 rounds flying through the air, or space, I guess. Not really much air in space. Kind of, defeats the purpose calling it, space if there's air. Anyways, flying through the battle space here, hitting into this Ocello, doing good damage. We've got a broadside on it, which means we are able to bring our full power to bear. It probably, yep, is turning its guns to face me because it has identified that I am apparently the bigger threat right now. That, or it's deciding, okay, it's hitting our useless destroyer. That's fine. I don't think they know that my beam turret is out, because otherwise they would not prioritize me right now. Yeah. So them shooting this is actually a waste of their efforts. They could cap the point, but I think that we're good either way. Pilot E, another one of theirs, has surrendered, so it's looking good for Team ANS. Gonna just keep maneuvering our way around the backside here. Trying to shoot this Ocello in the back. That way, only one of its guns will be able to reverse and hit us. We can see we've now knocked out its drives. I don't know if we fully grayed them out or if we've just redded them, but either way, that's going to heavily limit its arcs of fire. Our friendly Axford here, who's bringing all the firepower it can to bear, is just shooting down the thing of this nose. I'm going to say, we good. This Ocello is not long for the world. Oop. In this case, my little destroyer here. Very much hard to ignore the beam destroyer. It's a soft target, which they would love to shoot at, and it doesn't actually have anything to do right now. So I'm just going to order them to keep whatever parts of it are intact, and we're going to go from there. Yeah. Is the Distraction Carnifex play, as is known in certain tabletop circles. That refers to Warhammer 40k, where a Carnifex is a big Tyranid monster, Tyranids being this alien bug race. The Distraction Carnifex is this big target that you want everyone to shoot at because it means that they're not shooting at your more important stuff, and it's hard to ignore the big monster.
Standing by.
In this case, the Beam Destroyer here is our Distraction Carnifex. So, you can see us just constantly pounding this thing in the aft. That way we are keeping its drives disabled. It will not be able to get up and move itself. That means that its firing arcs are very limited to what's in front of it right now. And it does not appear to have any magazine left because its guns are silent. As soon as we finish slapping this thing around, we should be able to get an actual kill on it. Instead, we will need to also hit these tugboats, which are going to prove a little bit difficult. We are the only one holding lock right now, but that's okay. I'll switch my guns over to these tugs since they are so close and also kind of bumping up against each other. Should be nigh impossible for us to miss. I say as I see a couple of my shots move and miss. All right, once again, the Pygmy is active, so I'm able to bring this thing online and make it look like I'm going to aim at you.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
Reporting.
Positives. All right. Should be getting some damage on that tug, I think.
Send traffic.
See our shots impacting into the backside of it, hitting the good stuff there, the drives, and what the heck was that? Was that a railgun? I think that was a mass driver. Okay, we might not want to be here anymore then. Because if we're getting mass driver, that's a bad place to be. Yeah, the front gun just instantly getting clobbered there. Okay, we're going to move. I'm pretty sure that was enemy mass drivers firing on us. Yeah, Yep, that's mass drivers, all right. You see 4 mass drivers flying towards the Pygmy. Oh, 8 mass drivers. Okay, yeah. So that sucks.
Warning. Component disabled.
We are just going to get out of here,
Get us moving, help.
because we really don't want to be hit by that. We're now going to point our nose towards the greatest threat, which would be those mass drivers.
Aye, aye.
Hopefully minimizing our target profile. Our cannon is coming back online. The Axford has extra repair power, which is a very nice quirk of the hull. Another reason why I like it over the battleship. We're going to keep pounding away at anything we got here. The tugs, in this case, are the best target we got.
Position locked in. Lock
We'll just
target.
fire everything we got on it. Yeah. Not under command, indeed. Let's just
Eyes on target.
hit these things with what I got.
Sir, back up.
The
Send
pygmy
it,
is
Commander.
still technically alive somehow. How the heck are you still alive? Okay, destroyers, just like the entire front half of the ship is missing. Everything in the backside is kind of redded out. The only thing actually working is the flak guns.
Reporting.
So, actually the flak guns don't even have any ammo because our magazine got shot out. Okay, we're just gonna keep going with that then. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's okay. All right, we are luckily
Reversing
now
thrust.
far enough away that the mass drivers can't hit us. So, just gonna adjust
Aye, aye.
accordingly. Ordering our ships to stop. All right, we're seeing a bunch of them have now space oiled.
We're under fire, Commander.
Oh,
We are securing zone.
and that's what critical hits do. Critical hits are very good because you can get super criticals like that in certain modules, such as if the drives or the reactors. What the heck are my reactors? My reactors. If these are hit, there's a chance for a super critical to occur, which, if it's not dealt with by damage control teams, results in the ship going kablooey. Watching as these are now completely stripped of armor. Not that we had any trouble getting through their armor in the first place. It's actually detrimental because our shots are horribly over-penetrating now and not going off.
Command, come in.
Nope.
Orders, Commander.
That would be the sound of our ship kind of getting smacked
Orders,
about. You
Commander.
can see it is well seasoned here. Nice little charring on the outside. Still not as bad as the rest of these got. Wow, the Ocello managed to somehow only get cooked on the front half. That's interesting.
Reporting.
Drive power restored.
We got the D points, so this is
We're running low on
secured.
shells.
Now we just need to get to
We
other
have
places
secured
on the map.
zone dagger.
So
Aye, aye. Full burn.
I'm going to order you to get to the A point as soon as possible.
Copy that.
Assuming that
We're
this
on route.
little Sarissa frigate doesn't do it first.
Send traffic.
All right, let's take a look. See, so this thing is dead. I think maybe did this launch life pods? I can't honestly tell. I think it's dead. Yeah, that's dead. Okay, we're gonna cease firing then because these ships all appear to be cooked and out of it. Yeah, space oil and space oil
Send traffic.
are marked as killed. Excellent. All right, now we just need to burn towards the E point. So I'm gonna flip the map over like so, and then just pick the most direct path possible, which would be like this, and then set all engines ahead full and go for it.
Zone Atlas.
Affirmative.
These are way out of our effective engagement range. Unfortunately, we don't have any missiles since we kind of
Receiving.
we panic dumped our entire magazine, but it was worth it. At least I think it was. So there. All right.
We're ready,
Because we've
Commander.
already got that point under control, we're going to just quickly go for this. We might be able to get a full cap, so we're going to see. Rails, beware, tugs below. Just going to warn them about that.
Send traffic. Reporting.
Hopefully we'll be able to get enough points to win this. It would be a little disappointing if we didn't
Receiving.
after the amazing fights that we've had so far. Just going to
Receiving.
try and get a good heading here. There we go, using the spherical tools. All right, you can just clear that. Let's see. Two of them are full on out. I believe that... I don't know if they had ejected from the game or if they just got killed by the reactor blast and subsequent
Standing
fallout.
by.
So they don't see us right now because they have nothing in range. Our ships are pretty damaged, but
Standing
still in the
by.
fight. Axfords are tough girls. They can take a lot of hits, including me getting shot in the face. I'm still a little salty about that. At least I'm intact on this side. Let's take a look at the
Ready,
pygmy.
Commander.
How am I looking here? Well cooked and a little speckled. Got that radioactive treatment. You know, licking rocks around. What's it? Chernobyl. That's the one. Yeah, licking rocks in Chernobyl.
Send traffic.
You know, a little social thing you do with friends. Anyways, thrust power is degraded, so not the best engines right now, although we are making do with what we got. Ordering them to fix all of that stuff as fast as possible. I've got 7 out of 8. Actually, I have 8 damage control teams, and they're working at best pace. DC Central still active, giving extra move speed around the ship. Axfords are very big, so
Send
DC team speed is very nice to have. We can see the enemy, but I don't believe they can see us, so we're just going to rely on that. Keep myself towards those bulk freighters. Just going to preemptively aim a little higher
Understood.
so that when they eventually get a lock on me, they won't have a great one.
That is outside
And
of our
order the
range.
guns to aim on them, assuming I ever get a shot. What is
Far.
above me? Saw something up there. Could have sworn there's something. There it is.
Send traffic.
A401 Ocello status? Question mark. And just see what this thing has. I think this thing's out of the game.
Reporting.
Yep, it's evacuated. Never mind. It's dead. Mark that thing as dead so it doesn't give us a false flag anymore. You see the mass drivers here coming up and getting the counter rail battery. Rail versus mass driver is very interesting, as the rails, they don't really have the power to kill the mass drivers, but mass drivers over ships have a lot of power. And if you critical hit a reactor, well, we already saw what that does. So we're just going to make at best speed towards them. You can see them now heavily damaged and actually completely tilted the wrong direction. So they're not doing the automatic aiming trick that I was doing. Makes your bulk freighters preemptively aim. Yes, it's evac. I got the quick read on that Ocello. We're just watching as these bulk freighters proceed to get torn apart by the rest of our fleet. We are on best speed towards the E point, although I think that we are not going to be the first ones there, so we'll just have to move our way upwards here.
Course
You
laid
can see a bunch of mines showing up there with the little purple circles. So even though we don't have a great lock on them, we can still see that there is in fact mines on the map, something we'll have to be aware of. Interesting place for mines. I'm going to assume that it was just kind of a panic decision, but either way, bulk freighters and stuff over here. I'm going to just order the best speed through there. Probably takes us right through the minefield, which is less than ideal. We're actually going to go on these.
We've got him now.
The enemy secured zone comment.
These tugboats. 450 is hilarious overkill. This is kind of like trying to kill a bug using a shotgun, but we're going to fire anyways because we have the ammo.
Attempting target lock.
Trying to get that target lock on. There we go. Got a good lock to help out our friendly guns as well. You can see the little guns firing off from our escort ships there. It's a big old mess of 450 and other calibers, 250 and 120, colliding with this thing. You can see the RPF rounds detonating and spraying it with shrapnel. Very much a sort of shotgun or airburst round. And that would appear... Don't hear it dead.
Send traffic.
I don't think it's dead. I'm going to keep firing.
Standing by.
We're also going to adjust our course to take the midfield here, warding off any would-be cappers. There we are. Clear our ship's heading. That way we can effectively get on it. There we are. Now it is properly dead. Excellent. We can now change our target and go on that. Perfect. Nekoboy Fleet Command. Let's go.
On it.
Again, going to keep our engines on flank speed since we just want to burn all the midnight oil possible to get to where we are going. Fortunately, we do not notice the ships here anymore, so still going to have to go for the caps. Rail's good to sit on C. Just going to ask him that. Good place for the rail array to be. This way we can hold the cap points relatively well. I don't want to get too close to those mines because they are actually a threat, so if I check here, yep, they'll put me within 3 kilometers of them. I'm going to give them a wider berth.
Course laid in.
And say thanks for them coordinating. Always thank people when they are coordinating and helping your team. Is the bare minimum they can do, but it is still surprisingly not done in many circles. So you can be appreciative of the little things, you know?
Aye, aye. Full burn.
Anyways,
Course laid in.
let's go ahead and take a look. So I have a lock on these now, which means that I can get more shots downrange on them. Let's take a look and see if these bulk freighters are going to come online at all. I don't think that they have any restores left to bring their weapons and power requirements up operational. Yeah, actually, we just lost them.
This is a warning.
Trying to
Inbound
burn
standing
through
by.
here. Uh-oh. So we do actually now notice, because the Masshawk mine is very
Send
small,
traffic.
got very tiny cross, what's the word, cross profile. So radar returns are not very good on that. Run straight forward, board fleet.
Standing by.
In case we lost our track there, which is a little annoying, but should be fine. I believe Mattock mines trigger in a 3 kilometer range, so we're just kind of skirting the edge. We don't actually need to be on the A point right now. We're just going here to ensure that nobody else gets it. Going to be a little bit close here. By a little bit, I mean a lot. All right. The Kurt Mail locked on fire. You can hear our 450 guns bearing here as they kind of go whine, 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 whine. And we're going to see if we can't take out the Kurt Mail. 3, 2, 1, fire. Nice little spray of shots, although whether they connect or not is another thing. See? 3 whiff, 5. There. You can see also the Grand Fleet over here doing its share of 450 fire. Trying to hit a tug at this range is difficult, but we are within 5 kilometers, so second volley hitting a little more true. Excellent. Yeah. Just gonna try and get onto the point here to make sure it doesn't. That's the primary reason I'm zooming up here. I need to be in the centerpiece and, well, just making sure nobody else gets any funny ideas. With 4 points, we should be able to cap out before they do, but still, it's a close game, and we don't want to let anyone back cap us. So there. So you have the Pygmy still actually in the game, remarkably. See, we've got a friendly ship just warding against back caps here on D as well. So
Standing by.
just need to get the Pygmy over here eventually. Say, how long did it say it was going to take? 4 minutes? Okay. Hang on, I need to sneeze. Alright, so we got more tugs coming this way. So just keep firing on this thing until it eventually dies, or just is otherwise encouraged to go somewhere else. Angling myself here, trying to get my line on this tugboat. Is that a mass driver shot? That is a mass driver shot. How dare you? Alright, that's it, buddy. Come here. Trying to change our trajectory as best as possible. Trying to gain altitude here very quickly. Which one of you shot me? Both of you shot me. Okay, buddy. Bam, bam, bam. Quickly janking our heading back and forth, trying to make their shots miss, as well as minimizing our target profile. See me wiggling the lead indicator back and forth here, so their shots are hopefully going to miss. They shouldn't have too much left in them, although bulk freighters are surprisingly tough, given their well, kind of converted freighter nature.
Component destroyed.
We have secured
Kurt Mail, we're going to mark that as eliminated.
Send traffic.
Going to provide the fire support that is needed for our team. Also the lock in this case, since we are the eyes. Oop, ouch. That one clipped the thrusters in the back a very little bit, but luckily we are still in it. Just gotta keep ourselves moving here. Adjusting our heading again, as they are now diving extremely fast. They are probably headed towards the E point, if I had to guess.
Understood. We're en route.
I'm going to position myself a little more forwards here. I'm hoping that those tugs don't have any torpedoes, because I'm not so confident that I'd be able to repel a torpedo strike along with this mass driver.
Get us moving, help.
Just gonna keep firing whatever we got. In this case, this ship is taking a good pounding. It says it's condition 100, but I believe that is a intel error. Because there's no way that this thing is perfectly fine after the amount of pounding that's been taken all game.
We're standing by. Opponent damage. DC teams report in.
DC team's doing their best. We're losing some stuff in the front here, namely berthing and gun plotting center, but big target. We didn't need that anyways. We're just gonna keep shooting whatever we got. Trying to get a kill here, as annoyingly they're still managing to pepper us with their shots. So, seeing the railguns doing their work as best they can from their distance. Nice little cross-map fire support from the 12-kilometer range. I believe railguns can shoot up to like 18 or 20 kilometers away, which is quite nice. I'm not a huge rail enthusiast, but when they are played well and supporting me, I am not going to complain. Especially when I can deliver some devastating 450 fire to back it up. Rails cripple the enemy ship, and I come in for the killing blow.
What can we do for you, Commander?
I believe that they are tapping out here, just doing the math. Yep, we should reach a cap win before they can actually get to E point. Gonna give them a GG, because they did play well, and that was a very fun fight. We had some excellent brawling down at the D point, even though I got surprised by the bulk freighters there. I'm going to assume that they just didn't know I was there, and that we both kind of had a panic moment as we quickly engage in fisticuffs. Quite the game of all time. 2, 1, and let's see just how much damage we did. So, nice little close game. Very well played on both sides. See, it was Crusader who came up on me. Yeah, I don't think they had any idea I was there, and they just got bad luck because suddenly there's a flanking Axford and Destroyer ready to unload missiles and beams and guns on you. So, yeah. What's it? DACA? No, it was definitely Crusader. They had the paint scheme. The DACA had the mass drivers. Yep, so a lot of damage potential there. As to how much was dealt, not as much damage dealt as I would have thought, but still very annoying, and they knocked out one of my guns instantly, which was painful. See that combination of torpedo and gunship here. Luckily, a whole bunch of the Auroras defeated all those missiles, so I have to give them credit. I didn't think that 7 Auroras was a good idea in their fleet, but they pulled through with it. Let's see what else they got. A couple tugs kind of scattered around the place, trying to do tug things. All right, and then there was a pair of Ocellos, which I don't think I saw most of the game. I know I saw one at the top. This one must have surrendered and tapped out at some point. Okay. I think it was this one I identified. Anyways, we see our rail array pulling in some good numbers here. Yep. Again, don't really judge it by the damage number. Can't exactly tell how many critical hits they inflicted. Seeing these little 250s. Yep. They got some good old Heck-Ps on the backs here. Fortunately, defeated by hard kill. We see our little lance mate here, Grand, coming in with a nice fleet. Yep, there's the Auroras delivering all their damage. You're going to see those little bit of escorting aspects doing a bit of stuff. It's a good chunk of Aurora damage, because that's the only thing these have to be offensive with. Yeah, 15k on that. Good stuff. Oh, wow. All right, we take that. 32k. Oh, yeah. So, unfortunately, our beam ship got clapped very fast, and we only got a bit of our expenditure out. But they focused it instead of my Axford, meaning the Axford was able to stay alive the rest of the game and basically rack up a very nice win here. Oh, and we saw the little... it's a combination of size 1s and size 2s. Interesting. EO. Huh. You don't see those very often. That's a cute little fleet. Very sneaky and able to get around backsides where flak defense generally is weaker. Yeah, I am pretty happy about this. Anyways, I think that's going to be the stream for today, as I have to go and do some stuff at 8 o'clock. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and find somebody to raid, so let me just turn off the desktop audio so somebody else's Twitch doesn't immediately deafen all of you. And, yeah. Anyways, I'm NekoboyBlue. I try and stream as often as I can, and we're going to see who is online right now. Anyone I know? Okay. Somebody I know, sort of, is streaming a game called... What is this game called, actually? Something Dungeon. Well, in that case, I'm going to pass you off to Ren Rabbit in a second here, so we're going to raid them. Let's see, where are you, Ren? Here you go. So, yeah. Ren's cool. Little buddy boy, as it were. And, yeah. Just going to pass you off. This has been Nebulous Fleet Command. I'll be playing some more games tomorrow, most likely. Usually around 5 p.m. I try and make my start time. So if you like this, you can follow my channel or check out my Twitch. There's a... Oh, check out my Twitch. I'm already on Twitch. You can check out my Twitter. I'm putting together a couple things for some Discord and VOD uploads soon, as I've been telling myself. But either way, I've been NekoboyBlue. Thank you for tuning in. I'm passing off to Ren Rabbit. Everyone have a good day. Bye!